just 1 mana short.
Yeah.
So it looks like this just has to be a Vibrant Outburst for just a tap to not lose the game spot.
3 damage to you, Tasher.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, not just a tap. 3 damage upstairs. Let's go. And now with this Fractal Mascot.
Sorry? I thought you would save this, and then I would...
It's like, come on, I wanted to get more value.
Yeah.
Love it.
So you probably do have to just counter that.
Yeah, good rapport between the players there. You love to see it. Even at this high stakes, you know, Magic where there's hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line for all the players.
At the end of the game, we're all playing the game we love, and even if it's high stakes, you still get to just think and be like, oh, my day of work is I get to play Magic all day against the greatest in the world and prove myself, and I mean, there's nothing better than pro Magic.
Title Mage. Trigger.
Stadium Title Mage, draw, discard.
Okay.
It's a big blocker. Yeah,
I mean, this is very much turning around. We just top decked the bounce spell as well, the Betrayal. So now you have Fractal Mascot to tap down this 6/6. You can attack a couple of times, and this attack is going to be for 10 for Ray. And then you can always bounce your own Mascot and then ice that down again. It's a lot better than bouncing the creature.
The thing that can
lightning
for 3.
you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Certainly just want to keep that guy tapped or dead. And stunned at the moment is what's going to keep Rui Zhang in
my goodness.
This matchup.
No Way is really, it's you know, just barely starting to fall apart here, where No Way was just 1 point away with that Monstrous Rage representing Ray down to 1. But now, I mean, you basically have to wilt in the heat right now on the 4/4, take a hit or two from the 6/6.
The 6/6, yeah.
And then just hope that Rui Zhang just starts top decking the one or
all
two
the lands that are still in
their deck. Exactly.
still in their hand. Oh no, Hellbent.
So the card's not
one.
Hellbent, it's Spell Pierce and it's the Betrayal.
Yes,
so the graphics maybe not fully updated.
Yeah. But they're not holding the cards.
Strange. Okay, so No Way made a big judgment call here to wilt in the heat on Rui Zhang's upkeep, which opens the door for this Betrayal to bounce it. I don't see what the point is of waiting till upkeep. Because the Spell Pierce wouldn't have countered it. There was only 1 mana available unless I was missing something, so I didn't love that play.
So you kept on top?
Yeah.
Okay.
And kept on top, and now you can replay it, loot away this Spell Pierce, which is, when that card's face up, it's pretty useless.
Not too many people walk into a face-up Spell Pierce. Unless they're trying to bait something out.
Exactly, yeah. So it looks like another Banishing Betrayal, and oh my goodness.
I heard it interesting.
at this point, it really feels like advantage now to Rui Zhang.
Yeah.
You're at 22?
You're at 4?
It's always terrifying when the person with the lower life total starts asking what you're at.
Yeah, right, right.
They're moving.
So now it's the classic. Does Ray just want to hold back, try to double block this 6/6, or start getting frisky, bouncing it, playing that game? I feel like where Rui Zhang can't bounce their own Mascot and replay it, you almost have to. Okay. I was just going to say you almost have to hold back, but...
What do you know, Corey?
Exactly. That's why I'm here. And Rui is down 8-1 at the Pro Tour.
Field of Strife. Hey, dual land. Late, but, you know, nice to have in this instance where you could really do with a Surveil, Banishing Betrayal, back to hand. Again, like you said, not what you want to be doing, especially with something that can just dome you for 3.
Yeah. So there is the damage. And still 1 card in hand from Rui, so we're not sure what it is yet. They definitely play very close to...
Yeah, close to their chest.
Close to their chest for sure, and just keeps our cards in hand person working for their day.
I was going to say on their toes, but they're probably on their haunches trying to get a peek at the card.
There you go.
Yeah, that's a Banishing Betrayal. Oh, Embrace the Paradox. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
Got more mana.
What do we find?
not put that land.
You had 6 minutes.
Oh,
Plus
yeah,
the
yeah. So
10.
only, sorry, I only have this. Yeah.
Yep, judge is just making sure they tapped correctly.
You drew
Not
3 and then.
too big deal.
I am not going to put a land.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
Because
just
there's
tells
no
me
more
that.
lands in their deck.
No, yeah, there's one in hand. but,
Yeah.
you know, they'd rather use that.
Yeah, it's either you put it into play tapped or untapped.
Yeah. That's your usual land for turn.
So now it will be that
Somehow I
classic
don't have
moment of what do we do here?
That's
Do
what's
we...
I still have not made a.
Wait, you do?
Oh, that's a sorcery. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Thank you.
No way,
Uh,
man.
Okay, there is
What a
another
bro.
He's the first
mascot.
one too.
There's another mascot, so that's almost assuredly one of the picks. Only 4 mana in play. They have not played
Man,
their
this
land
is
for the
like
turn, but can't
having a
cast
hard
another
time
one of those.
following
So it
everything
looks like
that's
it's
going
gonna
on
have to
here.
be a double block moment.
Yeah.
Zhang's
And,
lands are
there's
just
some
all over
kind
the
of world
place.
Where maybe it's just a single block, or maybe no way top decks a removal spell and is able to go Monstrous Rage plus removal spell and win this game.
Good gravy.
But with the Banishing Betrayal, that's pretty hard as well. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could just block with whatever. If there's any tricks, well, yeah, Monstrous Rage will just be trampled through for lethal, right?
no way.
If Ray tries to like save one of the creatures in response or something.
Yup. No way leaving that 5 mana tapped because, well, we wanted to surveil. It always feels bad. Whatever choice you make, you're like, when you tap on your upkeep, it's a card you want.
Okay.
And then whenever you don't do it, you draw the land. you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
so-
Yeah, you know, sometimes it's a coin toss. You
Yeah,
know,
it's going to be a wilt in the heat here, where
Yeah.
No Way desperately needs 5 lands untapped, you know.
Let's see
19.
Yeah. I'll draw it.
what you got there, bud. Holy moly, Corey.
sorry, No Way. Sorry, No Way. That's
That
on
was
me.
beautiful.
That's on me.
Savant sitting next to me here. Jeez.
It's the surveil curse.
Yep.
It's the upkeep surveil curse. We've all run into it. No matter what you do, you always make the wrong choice.
That's so funny. Big thinkies now for Noe Offman. Rizang clawed their way back into this matchup. It looked like we were getting ready for game number 3, but we might see a 2-0 here.
Now we got to
Taking them
start.
to 9-1.
Now we got to start, changing gears and just be like, what is the way that No Way can actually win? Which is pretty wild from One Life, but what I'm noticing, I think the best out is Rubble Rouser to just
Yeah,
play
just
it and
ding.
just deal 1 damage. Of course, Antiquities on the Loose would be great. Maybe Flash. I think we've already used Flashback, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, no, I think we did.
I think we did, yeah.
It's been a while, but yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
So like Monstrous Rage and then Flashback and Monstrous Rage again or something. But
I'm not sure I'm completely following everything that
Oh,
Corey's
Rubble
Okay.
Rouser is what No Way needs.
saying here.
Johnny's
Lordy.
response.
Oh,
Like, there's no way that No Way can win, even though Zhang's only at 1 life.
Andy, Owlin Historian hits the board, hopefully.
Surveil.
Not bad.
I didn't see the
Terra
deck
Fractal
list,
will
though,
be great
before we
at,
started streaming.
doing some damage to
Oh.
that.
But then we have the Elite Interceptor with Rejoinder to get the bird through.
But then we have the
Damage.
Betrayal to bounce the Terra Fractal.
Yeah.
So it is.
And Proctor's Gaze now. Good
Yeah.
lord.
What?
Oh,
a
is that
game.
why?
This has been
We
crazy.
were already considering game 3.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
would
that-
be awesome.
Oh, I see.
As, Raging really front loaded all their lands.
Yeah, yeah. See, what did I tell you?
You
Nothing
were
but
right.
gas.
You were right.
Unbelievable stuff here. And it's only round 10.
So now we'll see if Zhang really wants to play a Terra Fractal just to gain a little bit of life.
Yeah, yeah,
To get out of range of some direct damage. But hey, open deck list tournament, if they remember the deck list,
Mhm.
there is no direct damage of any
Yeah.
kind besides the
Yeah, no-
Colossus and
no
the Rubble
Tome
Roust.
Blast.
Yeah, no Tome Blast. That's the big one.
Oh, I don't have any cards.
You don't. When
How
you casted
many?
this, I was like, sure.
Oh,
I have a lot.
I love that they're like, oh, I don't have
Oh.
any cards.
how many are left in the deck?
This is gonna be
Stock
a-
goes to the bottom,
Oh.
though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I was like,
I would like to take this card for sure.
I think that's No Way is looking too.
Yeah, because you must take 2.
Woohoo.
10 minutes left.
And
10 minutes
yeah,
left in the round, yeah.
10 minutes left.
I gotta say,
what
it's
is that?
weird seeing all these
4
cards
cards
from
left of
other
memory?
sets
It is
that
a
are like
total
what? They're like
of
special cards in this
6
set,
going
and
into
they
the
can be
stock up, so
draftable.
it
It's
will
really
be
weird.
down to 4.
You got the
And
Bitter
the 4-4
Triumph, you
luckily
got
is
the
banked.
Burst
You don't have
Lightning,
to
you got
draw
Stock
when you attack
Up.
with that.
There was a Monstrous Raise that this guy had.
Oh,
There's
he's got to hustle.
There's the artistic
There's
process, I
Requisition
believe,
Rate. You know, all those random
double tap
cards
there.
from other sets that are just in this set.
which I believe there is the strategic betrayal.
And, yeah, that works. Swing.
Oh yeah, okay. So it was just for the creature,
Okay.
able to
Yeah,
bounce
Probably
haste.
it was a bad idea to bin that.
that. Probably a bad
Yeah.
idea to bin anything. That's one less turn you have.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you get on top.
Yes.
It's Proctor's Gaze. You
Go.
must roll. Proctor's Gaze. Search your library for
what do you got?
Yeah, not a draw. That's the search.
Yeah,
You can fail to find there, and I don't think there's any lands left for what it's worth. So
Zhang's only got 2 cards after this, it looks like.
gigantic Terra Fractal is still able to be cast, but now there's basically no way to protect it.
Yeah.
Now you have flashback
nice
and the
response.
strategic betrayal again to protect it. So what a game!
This has been one for the ages.
Oh, I
This
see.
has been.
Yeah,
I think
flashback,
Jay still
return
has
it
to be the most worried about their
back to
alignment.
hand. But how's he
You
gonna?
remember what I said about that?
How-
The joined researchers, milling people
How did
out?
Zhang get the kill
Yeah.
before
Honestly,
running out of
that
cards?
is a very good point. If the opponent has more cards in hand than you, which will definitely be possible. You're right.
Yeah.
Joined researchers is definite possibility to win with the classic secret rendezvous.
Come on, no way. Top deck that for us, buddy.
Would be sweet.
It's hilarious. But yeah, like you said, 8 minutes roughly now left.
And now we got to think like, do we got to
8 minutes left?
Aggressive.
Yeah. Yes, is the answer.
Yeah.
And Johnny's response says, get out of here, please.
And I think flashback strategic betrayal is what you want to do here. You get to
Corey
replay
keeps saying it
tap on
wrong.
the
He keeps
flyer.
calling it
Yeah.
strategic
And
betrayal.
I think just Zhang needs the threats, but I mean the other option is just make a gigantic flyer here.
Sure. Sorry.
Yeah, no way, just checking.
Johnny's-
Stadium Title Mage is
Yep.
a made roll.
He came in so late in the draft. I was like, yeah, what about card?
Yeah, the classic, just two Magic
that's
lovers
one.
chatting. Like, can you
Yeah.
believe
Yeah.
I got this sweet
Yeah.
card late?
Yeah. What is this still doing in the pack?
Exactly. This is a big choice. Do you let the mascot
I
go
don't have anything.
and then
You use your flashback.
cast the
Yeah.
giant? I believe it's a
Yeah, you countered
Terra
my-
Fractal
yeah.
in hand, not the mascot.
Yeah, it's a Terrafractal.
Yeah, but they do look similar, so
Because the other mascot's in the bin already.
yeah.
So I take
Just
4
lets it
and
go.
Okay.
And now probably Terra Fractal for everything but 3 mana. I
Another
think that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I agree.
Maybe you leave up 4 for flashback and the cancel. I'm not sure if that was in the yard, but it feels like everything's in there at this point.
Yeah.
No, it
If-
was
if
the
it's-
mascot. Okay.
Oh, okay. Where is the fractal? Did we see him earlier?
Maybe it was from the stock up and it's still just in the
Oh,
library at
gotcha,
this
gotcha,
point.
gotcha. Okay.
So probably about
So
to be
I
top
tap
deck.
6 and then tap 5, yeah?
if you.
Oh, I see. He didn't have, and they didn't have it. These
Okay.
with the
So
stock
basically
up.
tapped out flashback
Put
with
it
a 1
in the
mana
bottom
ability. Is that
two,
Rebel Rouser?
possibly.
Okay.
It is.
So that presents a lethal threat next turn.
Yep. Terrafractal got to gain some life here, friend.
Yep. Or flashback can probably still have
Mhm.
some bit of removal. So,
Mm-hmm.
or if anything, Proctor's Gaze, bounce again, and buy some time.
I haven't played much of the limited with this set. I feel like it's not really my
So,
thing
this is
because
lethal for Zhang. You can just bounce the.
I mean, maybe it
Rebel
is,
Rouser
but I
and
don't know. I mean, what I was
flashback
gonna
it
say
out
is
of this
that
Wilt in the heat. I think they have it.
I tend to not like
Through one of
limited
the
sets
craziest
that
limited games.
are
This is
think that we have ever
insane.
explicitly built with specific
This
color
format
combinations
is
in mind.
Flashback.
It's actually kind of why I didn't.
And the
As much as I like
cancel.
Tarkir Dragonstorm, I didn't
And
like playing
Raging is
limited
gonna
in
win
that
this
set
too,
because you had to
where
basically
we had
choose
pretty
which
much
of the
already
three
covered.
or which of the
My
tri-color combinations you were going to be in.
That was unbelievable.
Looks like Noah picked up the
Yeah.
win.
Because you know, turn
What?
on with the 5 minutes spell.
But you know, it's like you have to choose, are you going to be Abzan? Are you going to be Teamer? You know, are you going to be Jeskai? And you can't like really mix and match. So it makes the limited a little bit less flexible. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be, you know, Esper this time. Like that's not going to work. And this is a similar thing where it's like, if you want to be something out of the color combinations that are schools, you know, if you want to be Bractos, like you can't really do it because there's not enough support for outside of the schools, right? Witherbloom and Silverquill and everything.
You know, just like, yep, that's
So,
it'll happen eventually. I'll draw quick.
but at the same time, you can argue that it makes the limited good because now you have specific archetypes that are really well built and really and support each other really well. But it's just if you're competing with somebody in the same school, in the same color combination that you're working in, then now it's just based on, I mean, it's like that in every draft, but you don't have as much flexibility to pivot is basically what I'm saying, you know? Like if you're drafting Silverquill, you probably can't pivot into, you can't necessarily pivot into a different thing unless you can't like pivot into like Selesnya, right? The only option you have to pivot into is Golgari because it's a Witherbloom. And you can't do Selesnya because that's not a school, so that color combination is not supported, whereas Golgari is because Golgari is Witherbloom. That's kind of what I'm saying. Whereas like in another draft, in other sets, you might be able to pivot into either way. You might be able to pivot into either case, or you might be able to pivot like, hey, I'm just going to drop the black and play mono white. And I don't think any of the mono colors in this set are strong enough to draft that color explicitly. I mean, it's like that in a lot of sets, though. It's pretty rare that you draft a monocolored deck. But I mean, one thing that is cool is that there is a lot of opportunity, a lot of room to draft 3 and 4 colors. And that's kind of where I think the flexibility does come in. Because there's a lot of these players drafting 3-4 color decks. Because, you know, like, if you have a Witherbloom Charm and a Quandrix Charm, I mean, those are both worth playing, and Sultai is a very reasonable combination to play. So, you could say a similar thing about some of the other combinations too, like maybe the Silverquill and then I forget what the Boros one is, but you could do like a Mardu one, right? By the way, I really don't like how, and I mean, I know why, but I really don't like how in this Pro Tour, they're calling it the new names instead of the older names. Like they keep calling all the combinations, they keep calling it Prismari, and they keep calling Golgari, they keep calling it Witherbloom. And I mean, not everybody's doing that, but a lot of the casters are. And I'm just like, dude, like, you know, like, come on. You can't be changing the nomenclature that we've established for over 20 years, 2 decades. This nomenclature has been established. You can't just like suddenly change it. It's actually that's always been one of my kind of, that's one of the aspects of the Strixhaven set that I don't like. How we're using existing color combinations with new names. And I mean, it's like, just, like, why, I don't know, like, why lean so heavily into the names, you know? I mean, they kind of don't have any more options at this point. You know, there's no more color combinations they can do. They've literally done everything. I mean, they could do 4 colors because the 4 color names have been around since early Ravnica, but nobody really uses those names anymore. So you could do that, but that's just kind of stupid. You know, you're gonna have a set around 4 colors. It's ridiculous. So Nathan Story, so on. Look at Matt Nass, man. What is Matt Nass playing? I think he's playing Prowse. Oh no, I think he's playing Selesnya Landfall like Nathan is. Shota Yasuoka. Yichen Li, Yuchen Liu. Jesus Christ. Even Rob with 8 and 2.
That's going to affect the standings as we go there. Right behind him, Hall of Famer Shitan Lee. Don't forget about him and a couple other players as well down there. Christopher Larson still looming at 7-3 along with Anthony Lee. Can't rule them out.
Yeah.
All right, excellent look there at our leaderboard. But what about our 4 draft pods that we've been watching this morning, Tan? And what's the story there? Who's playing for the pod?
Absolutely. That's the story, Maria, is who's playing for the pod. Here we got our 2-0 drafters. They're going to be facing each other off. Who's getting the trophy? Here we've got Terry Ramboa versus Ray Zhang. Really cool decks between the two of them. I talked to Ray a little bit before the match. Not super excited with their deck, but hey, they've got a chance for a 3-0. I'd be excited about that. Let's move on into the next pod and see who is 2-0 here in this one. It looks like it's going to be Matt Nass versus Chartis Kidris. And we're going to have to see who wins this one out of this one. Matt Nass, if he's able to win this.
Man, there's a lot of players in this PT who I don't recognize at all. That Chartis guy, I've never seen that guy.
Players are going to be fighting for the trophy for this one. That is Mateo versus Stefan Schutz. And we're going to see who wins out of this one. Both these players at 8-2, really fighting it out, trying to get to 9-2, win that trophy, set themselves up for a run at that top 8. And our final pod, who's going to be going for the final trophy of the day? Looks like it's going to be Brian and Shota the Gota. Maybe he is going to actually
Shota the Gota. Shota is definitely one of my favorite players. Isn't he playing the Sultai Control List? I think he is. Ken Yukihiro's playing that. He's playing that. And
do not insult me or him with that question. Get out of here.
Who else? I know there's like 5 Japanese players playing the Sultai Control List.
Well, it's time to find out who's going to trophy their draft pod this round. Let's set up our next feature match. It's time for round number 11 for the pod. Ray Zhang up against Thierry Ramboa. Both of our players currently sitting at 9-1.
I will say though, aside from the Sultai Control, I haven't been that impressed with that many of the deck lists that I've seen. There's been a couple of the Is It ones that have been a little creative though, but otherwise it's just like they're making a big deal about this Selesnya Landfall deck, and I'm like, dude, this is just the same deck that has always been played. It's just with white. It's still just my Form Harmonizer and Ice Steel Explorer and Zaz Chocobo and all the same stuff, and Earthbender Ascension. Just feels pretty stale, you know, still playing Elementals, Spelementals, Prowess. Even though a lot of the Prowess builds have changed, like they are playing cards from Strixhaven. They need to stop printing like so many powerful Is It cards, man. They need to stop just printing so many. Every set just has powerful Is It cards. We've been playing Is It the Gathering for 2 years.
Limited, but it was to their opponent. So that is something, a little bit of a grudge match we've got going on here. Also playing for 6-0.
Actually, look at this, man. Mono Green Landfall, Selesnya Landfall, Is It Spelementals, Is It Liza Mono Green.
Talk to me about their draft decks, Monty.
I want to start by taking a look at Roy Zhang's deck. We talked about this the previous round before their feature match. This is a teamer deck. It is primarily Quandrix.
Okay, now I get to see
there's a small red
deck list
happening, and this is not overly for card quality. I would guess it's more for shoring up some of the weaknesses or lack of
actually a pretty cool deck.
Ray themselves said they weren't overly excited for the deck. I would say this deck is just solid. It's fine. There's
it's pretty good.
Too broken here, but it's not bad. Absolutely, there are some very powerful cards, and in a grindy game like the previous one, Wisdom of Ages can absolutely bring you right back into it. Now on the other side, Grand Boa himself, Thierry, his deck is sweet. Let's talk about it. 4 copies of Ancestral Anger plus a bulk up. Roy has to fight.
Oh, it's a bulk up. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. Okay.
I'm terrified.
There's a
so few creatures, though.
It's not just the Ancestral Angers. There's also the copy of Traumatic Critique.
9 creatures?
Plus this resonating loot. And one thing I have to point out, 2 copies of Spectacular Skywhale. If unanswered, that card can get out of hand very, very quickly. I think Thierry's deck is terrifying.
Wow, I am so excited for this matchup. It's time to play for the pod. I'm going to send it on over to Marshall and Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Maria. Welcome back to the booth here at Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven. Marshall Sutcliffe with Paul Cheon. We've got one more round of draft before we transition back over to Constructed. And, of course, it carries a lot of weight, Paul. Very, very important to try to come away as the trophy winner from your pod, as then you get to go back to the deck that got you to that great record, your standard deck.
Yeah, and no more undefeated players left. We have Thierry Ramboa going up against Ray Zhang, and these are kind of more decks, I would say, that you and I, at least, have more experience playing. You know, we saw Nathan with this nice little Witherbloom deck going, but, you know, I think the name of the game are the various blue value control decks, and both decks look quite nice. Now, taking a look at Ray Zhang's list, at least how I think
I
this
didn't know
matchup
that
goes
Zhang's
is
first
that
name was Ray.
late game. It's all about the late game. There's a ton of card draw. There's a Wisdom of Ages, which really allows you to kind of go over the top, but really lacks interaction. And Thierry Ramboa has a really sweet Prismari aggro deck that has some combo kills with that Ancestral Anger. So one of the most important cards for Ray is drawing one of those 2 copies of Banishing Betrayal to be able to break apart the spectacular Sky Whale bulk up shenanigans that Thierry's trying to pull off.
Yeah, normally I would say that this would heavily favor Ray Zhang, but with the lack of interaction, I like Thierry Ramboa in this matchup.
Yeah, as long as Thierry can stick
I'm inclined to agree, but I don't know. Thierry's got like no creatures. 9 creatures? That's it. So like that's 1 creature gone already. He's only got 8 left.
Our players sitting at 9 and 1 here.
Yeah, if I was him, I would have drafted a few more creatures.
Here for Ray.
Like maybe 11.
Actually have a way to kill this immediately, and the Lecturer can get out of hand. It's one of those things where it's kind of a lightning rod for removal. You play it against, if you play it and it doesn't die, however, it can take over the game. Although very reactive hand here for Ray Zhang. Banishing Betrayal and a Mana Sculpt. So needs to find one of their many card draw value spells. Okay.
Speaking of the betrayal.
From behind, and Ray not interested in the Accelerant here. Thierry probably just gonna maybe just try to slam the loot here. Perhaps gonna play around the singular Mana Sculpt, but it's not, you know, even if the loot gets countered, it's not the end of the world.
No, it isn't core to the strategy for Ramboa, but it's definitely a nice to have.
Zhang's actually got the Mana Sculpt in hand.
So, you know, the longer the game goes, the more I kind of like Ray's side here, given that was
A good Seize the Spoils turn, I think. Seize the Spoils is an instant? I don't think so. I think it's sorcery.
Spoils here.
Using to play the mountain.
Ancestral Anger.
Oh yeah, it's sorcery.
Number 1 of 4.
Which is a record that I have not seen just yet. Beaten.
Now Ray does have a counterspell, yeah, preventing Thierry from drawing 2 cards.
I don't know if I would have used it there.
Anger, so a clean 2 for 1 there on the Mana Sculpt.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have used it.
Not a lot of action left for Zhang. They've got Banishing
I think now Thierry should run out the loot for sure.
Counterspell on the Seize the Spoils,
Oh yeah.
the coast is clear to resolve the resonating loot. All right, so now Thierry has a bunch of mana available, and of course we know about the Traumatic Critique in his deck. So if he can get Ray down to, you know, double digits, maybe like 10, something along those lines, should have enough lands to kind of finish the deal. Wow, great draw though here from Ray.
Great top deck. Landscape Painter into Vibrant Idea means a little bit of board state and 2 cards.
What?
In, but
Wasn't that, isn't that spell 5 mana? He only got 7 lands?
Now Ray does have
How did that happen?
a couple of ways to kind of get it off the battlefield. Has the Proctor's Gaze, which is a very nice one, along with the Banishing Betrayal. And is sitting in a comfortable 20 life.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because Ray has no...
Oh, but it was only 2 mana to cast? I think it was only 2 mana to cast.
2 of those key interactive spells that we talked about coming into the round here. It does mean, though, that Ramboa can kind of just sit back a little bit.
Yeah, just 1 damage in the air. The thing is, Ramboa knows about the bounce spells, so he can kind of take it slow. This is not the matchup where Thierry's just going to fire off 2 or 3 ancestral and then just like try to go for the win there. He's just going to play maybe 1 spell. +3/+0. That's still quite nice. One thing that Ray has available here as well is you could Banishing Betrayal your own Landscape Painter potentially.
Absolutely.
On your stuff?
Just to, yeah.
I mean, it's a risky play.
Right.
And it's an interesting situation for Ramboa with the loot and traumatic critique in hand.
Oh,
Is it time? Yes.
Oh,
fires it off, but Ray does have a banishing betrayal.
yeah,
as
definitely
well.
banishing betrayal.
But Thierry happy just to put
Yep.
the counters on the whale, and Ray recognizing that they need to find some action here. So really prioritizing being able to bounce this landscape painter.
Let's stock
Also
up. No, what is that? Let's see what card that is.
No extra cards there off the for Thierry.
Off the traumatic critique, yes.
Yeah.
No, only one target. Yeah. Go.
But Ray still needs to handle a 4-powered flyer.
Wisdom of Ages.
And naturally draws
Wow.
Wisdom of Ages.
Is that
and
good here?
Wow.
I mean, there's 5 spells in the graveyard here.
Yes,
One of
That
which
is
are bounce
definitely
spells.
good.
So reactive.
Right, but I mean, you're still getting a bunch of cards back,
Yeah.
and you still have the mana to cast the Betrayal, so you can actually just bounce the Sky Whale.
Yeah.
And you just resolve this, and then all of a sudden, there's just no pressure coming your direction.
Literally the whole graveyard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
5 cards back.
Wow.
And especially because there's the Essence Scatter and the Mana Sculpt, Ray might be okay just taking the damage here from the Sky Whale, and then end of turn, bounce the Sky Whale, so that they'll have the mana to be able to counter it once Thierry tries to replay it.
Yeah, with 19 life to play with, Ray definitely has a little bit of wiggle room here.
Yeah. And Thierry notably has fired off the Traumatic Critique already.
That's right. Really important, especially with the resonating loot on the battlefield. That becomes a viable win condition.
Yeah, I think Ray probably wants to take the damage here. End of turn bounce, untap, and all of a sudden you are looking golden.
Guess 5-for-1s are
5-for-1s are not bad. All right, Thierry just kind of maybe trying to force the action here with the bulk up.
Yeah.
Which means
that's
Thierry,
a heads-up play from Thierry, isn't
absolutely.
it?
I mean,
absolutely.
He knows all the cards in Ray's hand. Gonna run it out again and hope to try to find some big cards. Remember, bulk up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would double the creature's power.
Well, Ray's tapped out.
Was it just too much damage to take, or was it even like it wasn't lethal?
4-7. It was 14 damage.
So just too much.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too much here. Now Ray does have another bounce spell, right?
Yeah.
Proctor's Gaze in hand here, and then no shortage of counter spells to get it on the way back down.
Stock up.
Looks like just firing it off immediately on the Sky Whale.
Okay.
While the shields are down.
Right.
Though Thierry,
Not a lot of lands left in that deck now.
Yeah, it does not have access to any shields.
More about
10 lands? Well, 11? 11 lands on play already? Jeez.
But Thierry has to fight through just 3 counter spells before he can get anything going.
I guess it's a little comforting if you know about them.
Right.
But it is going to take just brute force.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
I mean, you still have to run stuff into these.
Exactly. So Thierry just passes here. And I mean,
Sky Whale particularly bad. Any 3 of the counters can hit it.
yeah. Do you think Thierry, is there a world where Thierry just, if Ray doesn't do anything, is there a world where Thierry just draws up 2/7 cards
and starts
then
looting?
Starts looting too. I mean,
and we're talking about LUT, not LOOT.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. The often not used. Resonating mode on resonating loot says if you've got 7 or more cards in your hand, you can tap it to draw a card.
Yeah, it's just there's
and
nothing
with
else you can
no
do.
pressure.
Right.
I like that.
I gotta say,
that's interesting.
So many control decks are playing the loot now. I've run into so many Jeskai controls, so many 4-color control lists that are playing the loot. I'm not impressed. I've tried the loot in my control decks. I'm not impressed. Because it really is just slow. Like, you're going to tap out on turn 4, use all your mana to put this thing in play that can just be removed with artifact removal.
Right.
Like, especially after game 1.
At this point, you have full control of the game.
And it's like you tap out for this thing, and then
You have answers to
it's
multiple
gone. It gets
Terry Ramboa
removed.
needs to
And then even if you
land
don't,
those
then you're
4-mana
still
creatures,
no way around it. You're
fire off
using
some spells.
4
That's
mana
kind
to
of
put this thing in
a
play.
way to
Now, the
actually
upside is that, like, if you have
match this
Jeskai Rev, you get to do it on turn
Raise kind of
5
has all the
or
answers.
Capstone on turn 5 and still have mana left over, which is absurd. But I don't know. I'm not impressed with the loot.
There's a wild growth
I think the loot is only
as well.
good in control
That's
mirrors.
3-3.
And then it's like who gets the loot first, right? Who gets
Any creature
the
you play beyond that,
loot
people
in play
expect
first, and who
well,
gets the extra mana, who gets the big spell first, all that
didn't
stuff.
play the land there, so I
But
think
against
Rage
like the
playing this,
aggressive decks or against
trying to
decks that
get to
have
7,
artifact
and start
removal,
drawing the cards off the
like
board, it seems
especially
like this is not
landfall,
gonna be fast enough.
I don't know,
Oh, that's a
man.
flow
I'm not a
state.
fan of the loot.
Hey, that gets you closer to 7 cards if it can resolve.
I think the loot needed to be adjusted. It shouldn't be like this. It feels like it goes one way or the other way. Either you get nothing from it because it's 4 mana and it comes down too late, or it's absurdly busted. Like, absurdly busted. Like, double Jeskai Rev in the same turn or something. It's absurd. I feel like they should have adjusted it. It should be a 3 mana artifact, similar to the other 3 mana artifacts, like the Cornucopia and the Cornucopia and the Furdock Core, and change the text on it somehow. Like,
A random X spell.
That would kind of close out the game potentially.
like I don't think it should just add mana, because then that's too similar to the others. I mean, I guess if this version, the 4 mana version, did add mana, then I think it would be worth it.
Idle Mage here as well. It's going to just be a 4-mana 6/6 looter.
It could be 7/7.
Might even choose. Oh, excuse me, 7/7.
And maybe if you could tap it to actually loot, like if you could tap it to draw a card, discard a card, instead of only being able to draw a card if you have 7 or more cards in your hand.
When you're playing, especially these green-blue based decks that can draw so many cards.
Right.
But otherwise, I think a 3 mana version would be better.
Wisdom of Ages is that you don't have to worry about that part.
Red, blue, and a generic.
Not that it
You know, red, blue, and 1 to put it in play.
You do have
And then the text on it should be different. It should be something like,
you just pick
Take
any
a look at the
color?
loot. Maybe the loot helps you.
Fix?
I just know that it doubles your
I thought
mana.
I just doubled. It must be of
Yeah.
any colors.
Right.
So, did Jerry find anything?
maybe some kind of like effect. Like that would be good. It targets one of your
Lands
lands.
have for any color.
Like it targets one of your lands. So it's 3 mana, and you target one of your lands, and then that land, you can tap it to add any 2 combination of colors. That would be good.
It's a living history. That one, of course, is.
That would be a really
You
good.
don't get the discount.
That
on
would be
the
really
creature.
good.
You might think, oh, well, it's not a creature, so,
Right.
but no, it's only instant sorcery.
But then it might be. You think it would be too good? Then it might be too good, right? I don't know though.
Jerry,
So if you play it on turn 4, you still have 2 mana left over.
Avalanche of power.
I mean, that's
toughness,
pretty good.
Lands and value coming from Raging.
Because for one thing, if you target a non-basic land, then an opponent can destroy that land, and then you lose the benefit of it.
keep up.
So that's one thing.
Yeah, this is just.
Yeah, and that's a kill and a tap.
All right.
And Rambo says, okay, fine, I've seen enough. That was an impressive turnaround there from Ray Zhang.
Yeah,
That game did not start off particularly well. That Sky Whale was looking kind of scary, and then all of a sudden,
Wisdom of Ages.
I just don't think Terry has enough creatures in his deck, man. Enough threats.
okay, both players with a landscape painter there for Ramboa. What about for Ray? Not quite.
A Hydro Channeler, so nice blocker. Wonder if Thierry is interested in just killing the Hydro Channeler. I believe. Did he have a Vibrant Outburst? No, he did not. Never mind.
There is one floating, but it's in Ray Zhang's
It's in
hand.
Ray's hand.
Yeah.
So Thierry probably just going to be.
And Ray can cast it now, too,
Yeah.
though probably doesn't
Probably.
want to.
Yeah. Probably just run out of Paradox Surveyor or just cast Quick Study, keeping up Essence Scatter, especially because Thierry's most threatening cards are those 4-mana creatures.
Visionary Dance alternate mode there for Ramboa.
And I mean, given that you have just 2, 3, 4-mana creatures, I feel like you probably need to play one, but
Yeah. Feels
he's
that way.
afraid of specifically, as you heard him say, mana drain. So he's afraid of mana sculpt.
Yeah, that's right.
Because Hydro Channeler is in fact a wizard, so if it resolves the mana sculpt there,
Sure.
it would be brutal.
Yeah, for people that haven't played with Mana Drain back in the day, this is exactly the type of turn where if something gets mana drained and Ray gets to untap with 6-7 mana, it can just be game ending.
Right.
In this case, it's just Essence Scatter.
Yeah.
So at that point, Thierry
Mana Drain, arguably the best counterspell ever printed alongside Force of Will.
Mana Sculpt, rather, may not be in Ray's hand, but definitely possible to still have it, right? Just because.
Yeah,
just
Mana
want to
Drain,
fire off
Force
the
of
Essence Scatter
Will,
on your creatures, and then keep up the
Cryptic
mana sculpt
Command,
to have
counterspell,
access to an
obviously.
unconditional counter for anything that Thierry Ramboa might have. Ray finds a land here.
I feel like Terry's in the better
Cast
position here, though.
Vibrant Outburst this turn. And no Essence Scatter, so the Sky Whale has snuck through.
It's a big deal.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is a big deal.
Does not die to the Outburst. It's a 1/4. Ray does have, I believe, a bounce spell in hand, so has access to Banishing Betrayal if Thierry tries to go
Okay.
cast a
Maybe
ton of
just play
spells here
second
with Sky
whale. Well, actually, I guess Terry has no other option, right? I wouldn't play the Anger yet. Play the Anger after you have both whales in play.
5 mana, all right.
Oh, just drawing cards? I think I would have played the other whale.
And this
Oh, just putting a...
probably will
I
prompt
still think I would have
Banishing
just...
Betrayal here. You
I would have played the other
Thierry
whale.
has to replay
Because...
it.
No, I'd definitely play the other whale, because then you activate the spell, and then they both get counters. This now, you just bounce it back to the hand, and now the other whale doesn't get... I don't know, man. I think Terry should have played that other whale.
Right. Quick study.
Well, it was an island and then the other.
Play the other whale, they both get counters put on them, and then Zhang can only bounce one of them.
Just slam it.
Yeah, that looks like
right?
that's what it was.
Terry found a flow state, though. They both have flow
Oh my
states.
goodness, look at that hand.
Oh, that's a crazy hand.
Stock up
Jesus
Wisdom of
Christ.
Ages.
Yeah. Ray understands
Stock up
that
Wisdom
their
of
role in
Ages
this
flows.
matchup-
Jesus
I mean, it's
Christ,
really
what a
brutal 'cause,
loaded...
if you're in tier
Wow.
two, you're just looking at this, and there's all these game actions taking place, and you are just getting buried.
Right, and there's
Yeah.
a mana sculpt now as well. I just feel like this is exactly, you know, these slow
Wow.
matchups
Yeah,
is really what
Zhang
Ray
is...
wants to play against. If you notice, not a lot of interaction, a lot of card draw, a lot of good late game stuff, a lot of counter spells. That's weak to Lorehold aggro and Silver Quill aggro.
Yes.
Certainly not so much against maybe an Is It combo deck relying on 4 mana creatures and a flurry of spells.
Yup.
Yeah, I think the real key point here is that.
Yeah, I think Monty was a little too harsh on Zhang's list when he was talking about it. He said, like, it's just okay. And I was like, no, I think the list is pretty good.
Overperformed here.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the counter spells.
And the counter spells.
Disdainful Stroke, Mana Sculpt, and Essence Scatter. This.
And there it is.
That's a lot of mana.
With a wizard out, it's a mana sculpt.
That's 5 mana.
Flow state follow up here for Rambo.
Wow.
We're going to see a very
Oh,
big turn here
gosh.
for Zhang.
Ray's gonna
huge
have 5
turn.
mana with the Wisdom of Ages in hand.
No way.
Yeah, this is insane. This is
ridiculous. And
insane.
remember,
This
when
is
you
insane.
cast
enough
This is
blue mana
insane.
to get
Right.
back
And when you cast and
Why did
resolve
Terry
Wisdom
do
of
that?
Ages, you no longer
I
have
feel
a
like
next
the last two
side
turns,
for the
he's
rest of the
really
game.
just
So you don't have to discard.
kind of
Just get
folded
all
over.
of that back.
You get all of it. And
Just
what I was looking
casting
at
the
was, does Ray
the
have
draw
enough mana to
spell
keep
when you
up
have
mana
only
sculpt
one
with
whale in
those
play instead of playing the other whale and then just playing the critique?
hard
Why
to
would
do.
you play the
You're
critique there
right.
instead of playing out
But
your
after
stuff? Your other
After mana
stuff.
sculpting a 5 mana spell
It's
here.
pretty
Oof.
strange.
So many options here for Ray.
no,
And Thierry,
no way.
you know, smiling, you know, laughing, just because he knows he is extremely behind here.
Well, it's funny because I think once the stock up resolved, it's kind of like, yes, we're going to play it out, but we're kind of done here.
Yeah. Yeah, Right, cast the flow state here, because guess what? You can get that one back too.
Ray just methodically working their way through the process. And it's just pure torture for Ramboa. How much more can he take?
Theoretically, Ray can just wait on the Wisdom of Ages too, right? Just cast the rest of the spells in your hand first.
Sure.
And then run out the Wisdom of Ages later if you want.
No, I think you run out the wisdom now while you have the mana from the mana drain.
It's not, they're 20 life. It's not like they're behind. And here we go. We promised you an explosive turn, and Ramboa can only laugh at this point.
Ray has 2 hands.
Look at that.
The revealed hand.
Oh, this
and
is insane, man. He's got like what?
So that's 11
like
cards to work with.
And again, still
11?
and life
Seems like
totals,
12.
so-
And still can cast the Mana Sculpt with that Hydro Channeler in play.
Oh no, the wisdom's gone, so it is 11. That's
All right, Thierry, what you
bro.
got?
So Ray can cast Mana Sculpt, get the mana because there's still a wizard.
Right.
And then untap with access to...
No, Ray's only got 2 greens left.
Yes.
I don't know why.
Draw more cards,
All because
got the stock up,
Ray needed
study,
all the
flow
blues
state,
to cast
still
the
have
wisdom.
Essence Scatter for the 4
But no
drops.
counterspell available right now. But Essence Scatter is available.
Thierry's already fired off the Traumatic Critique.
You can see that there's a Wisdom of Ages in Ray's hand, but that's actually not.
Right. Yeah, there's only one.
It's only one, and it's actually exiled.
Yeah, so you can't
No
you
loops.
can't cast flashback on it and cast it again, as I believe Ray is playing with that card.
Chat is coming up with some strategic lines of play for Thierry, including he can scoop and use the time to go get a sandwich.
You know, that's completely reasonable. That is on the table.
That is on the table, yep.
Get some coffee.
Stretch
go
your
for a
legs a
little
little,
walk,
yeah. Because this one,
Okay.
even though Ramboa's deck is very good at stealing games,
Yeah.
it's not going to happen.
Not through 12 cards in Ray's hand.
You see Essence Scatter on Senar there.
All right, maybe using Banishing Betrayal now. You have so many cards. You just use all your mana every turn, and you're probably just going to win the game.
Yeah, we have reached the stage of just cast stuff.
Right.
Like you could just
You
sort
just-
of pick random
Yeah.
targets at this point.
Even if they're just tiny different. Of course, still, I mean, given that these two players are sitting at 9 and 1, Ray still just wants to make sure they have everything locked down. But yes, as you mentioned, you can just basically do whatever you want here.
How many cards?
Ray has shown incredible patience throughout
Yeah.
the course of this match.
It might be time here. It looks like
Is it the Fractal?
or a Fractal, maybe?
Maybe the
Nope.
Mascot.
Mascot, sure. All right, start getting in. Mascot hits really hard.
It does. Just yet another variant of this 6-mana 6/6 Trampler. And I don't see any answers for it here
Right.
for Ramboa either. 6
No.
toughness is a lot for a red deck to deal with. And now we're going to see Mana Sculpt hit the Sky Whale, but there's a second one.
But there's a Proctor's Gaze, right? Doesn't Ray still have Proctor's
This
Gaze?
is
in
nuts.
hand? And you have the Vibrant Outburst, so you can just tap down both of the creatures in play. I guess that would only be for 10 damage.
Yes, just the 10. Could Outburst
Go to the
to
face.
the dome
You can
and
go.
then tap?
Yeah. You can go Outburst to the face, and
But you need
then-
to get... Oh, and then
cast the Gaze.
and then Proctor's Gaze, and that
the
would
other
actually be
creature.
game.
Yeah, I mean, you only have one red mana.
Yeah, this is
Rambo can
insane.
only have Burst Lightning.
And Burst Lightning would not change the equation. Everything has at least 3 toughness,
That's
so
right.
that's game.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no red source? 'Cause
Yeah, so
you'd
the
have to
Hydro, you
use-
would have to
you would be
tap the
one
Hydro
short 'cause of
Channeler.
The channeler. Okay, I
Yeah, yeah.
gotcha. So Ray's seeing if they can find an untapped red source here to just end this game. And it looks like they did. GG.
Yeah, they should get it done here. There's just, I mean, so many different ways to kind of close this out.
Bounce the
Proctor's
whale.
Gaze, get a land.
And this is just going through the motions
Yeah.
because Ray Zhang has picked up this match and is going to improve to 10-1 after this sequence.
Yep.
That's really nice.
And that's going to be a concession
Yep.
there from Rambo,
Yep.
who's going to drop
That was
down to
insane,
92, but
man.
Still a good chance as we transition over
That was
to
insane.
standard after this round to make a run for his first top 8.
Yeah, still a great result for both players going into the draft, right? I think going into any draft at the Pro Tour level, if you can just ask somebody, hey, would you lock in a 2-1? Most people are, of course, going to say yes, especially given the position that both of these players were in. So Thierry's still in that sweet spot, but of course, Ray Zhang only 2 wins away from a top 8 slot.
That's right. And as we transition over to standard after this round, Ray has to be feeling very, very good. But we've got more limited action for you still to go. We're not quite done with this round. We're going to take a short break, but we'll be back with more right after this.
Right. Aren't there? I think that there's like more players in this Pro Tour than previous ones. I think. Oh shit! Forgot. I have been a little bit impressed with the. Oh wow, Reed kind of fell off. He was doing really good yesterday, but now he's 6-4. Unfortunate. I've been a little bit impressed with the updated Azorius tempo list. Well, I call that Azorius Splash. I think that's a more appropriate name for it. How many of the splash spells?
You can see a lot of fun action happening there.
Because, I mean, that deck's always been pretty good. But I do think the Sky Coach adds an interesting layer. But the only thing with the Sky Coach is that I do think there's a slight asymmetry between the Sky Coach and the High Noon. Because with High Noon in play, you can't cast Sky Coach and then immediately cast the Blink spell. So you can't really use it to like save a creature. You can't really use it like in the middle of combat to rebound, like block with the Aang and then bounce the Aang, or like I guess play it, bounce the Aang, airbend something, then you can block with the Aang and the Sky Coach. You can't do that with High Noon in play. So I don't know. I think I might try returning to the Blink deck though, and then trying some Aangs because I didn't have that in there initially. Could also, I mean, honestly, it could also just go in my Momo deck. Like that card can fit in Momo decks. Because if you like play Riddler, and then you blink the Riddler, or if you just blink an Aang.
This is just nasty.
Can Brian keep up here? I do see an Ink Mage in hand, probably just running that out. Get that surveilled too. This card has been very, very impressive. even though, you know, it's a multicolored card and has
Prevail
nothing to do
2.
with, repartee.
3 mana,
It's
Vigilance,
one
Surveil
of
2. It's
the
not bad.
Silver Deck's best commons. It just gives you just enough stats and abilities for it to really
I wish that we could have
perform.
seen the deck list here, man. I want to see what the dude. Flow State is such
And
a
when you
good
have 3 flow
card,
states, you
man.
don't need to be patient with them. You can just fire them off, smooth out your draws. Also, of course, Shota having the Wisdom of Ages in his deck. And Brian going, man, you even tap that thing? It's an 0-4 blocker. Now, if Shota fires off another flow state, this one would get him 2 cards.
And then the other flow state he has would also get him 2 cards.
That yes, that's how that yes.
3 of those.
Did he have all 3?
I mean, he'll find it if
when
he
you drew. I guess when you cast a second, when you're likely to find a third.
Is he playing more of these in constructed or in limited here?
That's a great question. Okay, render speechless. However, very strong card for the Silver Quill decks to really give yourself a chance against these go over the top control decks. However, I mean, Shota's working with 6 cards. Snarl Song in hand for Shota, one of the best ways to stabilize against these aggressive decks. A ways away from it right now. And you are right, he did find the 3rd flow state.
He actually did.
So he does have that. There is a Potioner's Trove. Could potentially take that just to kind of slow Shota down, right? It gives you the green mana to play the Snarl Song, lets you gain some life.
And, you know, Potioner's Trove in a deck like what Shota has.
Yeah, it seems like a good choice.
6, 8, 10 life over the course of a game pretty easily.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, that goes a really long way with this type of strategy because, you know, when you're playing cards like Wisdom of Ages, like, you need to take the turn off to do it.
Right.
Right? You have to find the right board state, and if you have a nice life total buffer, that can be the difference.
Yes, so Shota
I
really
like that pick from Brian a lot.
I do as well, and now Shota's going to be looking for some kind of interactive spell here for this Ink Mage. Does he have perhaps Banishing Betrayal to fire off to be able to pick up that 5/5 Vigilance creature on the battlefield? There is an Abrade and a Matter-Bending Mage.
Matter-Bending Mage would be
that would work
here.
Use the treasure and bounce the 5/5, excuse me.
Yeah, upgraded.
Right. So, yeah, Shota.
That's what I'm saying, man. This set has so many of those
He's going to have a
special appearance cards from other sets. I think it's a little strange.
We'll get to 7 mana. At some point, he's going to fire off that Wisdom of Ages. And if he does, and he's got a relatively comfortable life total, there's just not that much a Silver Quill aggressive deck can do. Big find on that Matter-Bending Mage. I believe there was an Owlin Historian in Brian's.
Well, look at what constructed next show at this point. I'm pretty sure it's the.
Speaking of going to the skies.
This guy control list.
Yeah, is that a harsh annotation?
Yeah.
Harsh annotation. Now, this is typically a removal spell you don't want to play. It looks great, but giving your opponent a 1/1 flyer is very relevant. So if you're a little bit light on removal, you got to do what you got to do, but oftentimes not the type of card that you want. As you can see here, use the removal spell, but that 1/1 flyer can be used to block.
Oh no, he's playing prowess.
These Eternal Student tokens.
Well, yeah. He's playing with the Stallion. That's what I would do, honestly. If I was playing prowess, I would play Storm Chaser's Talent, Slick Shot, Stallion, and then Eddie Crab.
But currently,
That's not what he's doing, though. He's playing Elusive Otter. I wouldn't play Elusive Otter. I think Elusive Otter is kind of weak by comparison to those other cards,
Cost of Brilliance,
even though it can't be blocked.
pretty decent here. The problem is you're just not. I mean, you're just kind of behind on board.
Maybe like 3 Stallions, 4 Show-Offs, 4 Storm Chasers, and 3 Eddie Mercs. That might be what I'd do.
So he's going to go for the Owlin Historian instead. This also gives him Surveil 1.
Right.
Feels like he wants to keep hitting land drops here.
Absolutely.
He's thinking about what to surveil.
last
Oh, it was
gas.
the last gas, but he's going to get rid of it
Yeah.
because it's
No
not-
get outs either. I would play
It
2
doesn't
get
really do
outs.
anything too strong here. I suppose if Shota hits land number 5, he can make a 3-3 here off the Campus Composer, and that would be a way to get that off the battlefield. But I think Brian really just kind of wants to be able to keep hitting the land drops. Right, Thunder Drum Soloist, and Shota not able to find land number 5 there, so can't make a 3-3 flyer.
I don't even know why I'm talking about Prowess, so I hate
Or the
playing
Muse's
Prowess.
encouragement.
He absolutely can't stand, is it?
A 1-3 reach. Certainly
It
kind of
does a lot of work here.
Yeah, I mean, none of those creatures on the right can kind of get in. Now, of course, Brian can augment the power of his creatures with the Cost of Brilliance. There's also Killian's Confidence, which has been quite nice. Just a nice way to continue to trigger repartee in your decks. Really nice if you have evasion creatures as well, as you can pick this back up out of the graveyard.
He's going to draw some cards here.
Plus 1 until end of turn. Oh, I wanted to keep reading that card.
This allows you to have a clean attack with the Owlin Historian.
He's going to put the counters on the Historian, or the counter on the Historian.
Right.
Okay.
As right now on Shota's side, we have a 1-3 reach creature and a 1-1 flyer.
Courtesy of Brian, by the way, that 1-1 flyer.
Oh.
Yeah, that thing's worth roughly a card.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe a little less, but not that far off.
Right.
That's why removal spells that leave your opponents with 1-1 flyers are generally not favorable.
Looks like Brian's interested in just firing off a Killian's Confidence. No real other plays out of the hand.
Kind of annoying not to be able to get it back right away, but
Yeah, but with the 3 flyers, maybe you can get it done. Oh,
he's just going to actually attack with all of them, even into the 1-3 reach. What is he representing here?
there's a card. There's a white card in his hand, but I can't quite make out what it is.
Yeah, I can't either, and it's kind of interesting to not be able to because Shota has to figure it out.
It's interjection. That's what it is.
+2/+2, gotcha. And he would gladly trade off that. And yeah, Shota recognizing that could be a problem says,
that's right.
I will block to trade, and I'm either going to trade for this 1-1 flyer or
an
interjection, but I'm not going to lose my soloist.
Oh man, if that was counter draw, be very strong.
Killian's Confidence in the graveyard now. If he ever can hit Shota again, he can pay a black or white to get it back, but right now it's stuck.
Yeah, now Shota can just make a 3-3 2 different ways, right? He's got the Campus Composer and the Muse's Encouragement. The Muse's Encouragement is nice because, of course, you get the Surveil. And with the Thunderdrum Soloist in play, I mean, just start casting a bunch of expensive cards and burn Brian out. That will trigger the Opus. That will take Brian down to 10 if he plays out that Muse's Encouragement.
Yeah, it's always tempting to use the Composer once you have the ability to, because if it were to go away, then you would lose that. But man, instant speed, Surveil 2 and 3 damage looks really nice right here.
Yeah, especially because Shota has Rapturous Moment in hand. So really, really interested in finding land number 6 next turn to be able to go Rapturous Moment into make a token off of the Campus Composer. So that's 6 damage with those 2 cards.
And it'll be 3 from this turn as well. That's 9 over this turn cycle.
Right.
Just from the Soloist, you can see why he didn't want to block with it.
And look at this. Did Shota just take everything?
Holy smokes.
I mean, if he takes everything, he's going to just make a flyer and probably just burn Brian out, right?
Yeah, that means he thinks he's got this game won.
Right. I mean, Brian's going to go down to 10 here. 3-3 flyer. The flyer itself would get him down to 7. And then you play the Rapturous.
And he found the land.
And he found the land. That's going to get Brian down to 1. And just attack with everything, and you win the game.
Wow, Shota Yasuoka finds the line, and Brian, his heart must have stopped when Shota said, yeah, no blocks, take it all.
Right, it's like, oh no.
Oh no, I'm dead.
Yeah, that's a splatter technique too, by the way.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Certainly not going to fire that off to sweep the
5 mana
board.
available.
5 mana available. You just want to play a 5 mana card. Oh, there's a Vibrant Outburst, so you can abrade, deal 1 damage, and then remember, kind of like Rei Zhang, it can go to the face.
Same thing. So you take 3 plus an additional.
And attack with everything. And Brian's already down to 6.
Wow. And he even gets to tap down the last blocker with the Vibrant Outburst.
Right.
Wow, unbelievable. If you go back to Brian's turn when he's thinking about attacking, it is hard to imagine that Shota goes, take it all, and by the way, you're dead.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. Shota Yasuoka picks up the match and the limited trophy here on day 2, and that's going to set him loose on standard constructed.
One of many limited trophies there for the Hall of Famer, but a really, really impressive deck. Also, just knowing when to take damage.
Shota the GOAT, man.
Figure out kind of the game plan. It's
This
like,
guy
okay,
is
well,
just
if
a legend.
If I take this damage and I fire off that Muse's Encouragement, I get 3 looks at just straight up winning the game next turn. I will take that chance, take the damage, found the line.
You know, they always say use your life total as a resource. Sometimes it means take 10.
Right.
If you can get your opponent dead the next turn. That's exactly what happened here. That's going to wrap it for the limited portion of our event, but we're going to be back in just a couple of minutes at the news desk to set up standard. Don't go anywhere.
The full class schedule at your LGS is ready for Secrets of Strixhaven, and there are plenty of events no matter how you like to play Magic. Full details are available at mtg.social/WTP-SOS. Mark your calendars for Magic Spotlight The Hobbit in Brisbane, August 28th through the 30th, and Dallas, September 4th through the 6th. The promo card is Riddles in the Dark. Registrations are now open. More details at mtg.social/spotlight-HOV. Welcome back to Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven, everyone, live from Las Vegas, Nevada. 25,000 people here for the biggest Magic Con of all time. 205 players back to battle on day 2 of competition. Welcome back to the news desk. Maria Bartholdi, Monty DeBooty, and Tannen Grace hanging out with you, and we are out of draft, and we're going to turn our attention to standard for the rest of the tournament. But before we do, we need a roundup on the winners, Tannen.
Absolutely. Limited is such a big portion of this Pro Tour, and we've been following a bunch of pods here today. Let's take a look at them and hear from the players and how they did. So if you take a look at the first pod, our winner, our trip winner, Ray Zhang. Take a look at the entire table. You can see not an easy pod to be the winner out of this. You've got multiple Pro Tour champions, the defending one themselves, but Ray Zhang was your champion coming out of this one. I had a moment to talk with him after this match. Everyone, I've got Ray Zhang with me here, fresh off a 3-0 in the feature match area, moving them to 10-1. Your deck looks great, looks fun. You just got a draft trophy. Why don't you kind of walk us through the draft, please?
I wasn't really happy with my draft coming out of it. Like, I was drafting like the green blue splash a bunch of powerful stuff archetype, but I didn't really feel like I got a ton of powerful stuff, so I wasn't very satisfied. I mean, the Wisdom of Ages card is definitely like very strong if you can do something, but it has some flaws. But I felt like I faced 3 pretty good matchups, so things worked out.
Well, things have worked out pretty well for you so far in this tournament. Now, you're going to be trading in your draft deck, picking up your constructed deck. How are you feeling in the next few rounds? Because you're about to have a lot of pressure on you. You're getting very close to a top 8 berth.
I don't know. I'll just play some games and hope it works out or something. I don't know.
All right, well, everything's been working out so far this week, and best of luck in the tournament.
Why was that interview so difficult? Like, just, I don't know, whatever, man.
Nass stood tall here, the Pro Tour champion, 3-0'd this draft pod with a
Oh, wow, look at Matt Nass.
Said was pretty dang good. Let's hear it from him. I had an interview with him after this pod. Hey, everybody, here with Pro Tour champion Matt Nass, fresh off a 3-0, getting a trophy here. What's your normal strategy in draft, and how did it work out for this one?
So my favorite deck to play is the 5-color soup deck, Converge, but I don't necessarily think it's the best. I think a good 2-color black-white or red-white deck is better, and those were my 2 draft decks in the PT. This one was black-white with Informed Inkrite and the Spirit Call Enthusiast combo. I never got to pull it off, but you get to pump your team and make Inklings like nobody's business.
Okay.
Absolutely. It looks like really cool. I wish you got to get that combo off. Now, being a combo player, I know you love doing that. Now, we have Constructed coming up. How are you feeling about your chances? Because you're getting really close to top 8 in another Pro Tour, maybe running back a victory like in Chicago.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I did 5-0 Constructed yesterday, and this green-white Paw Patch Sage of the Sky's main deck plan against Prowess and other blue decks with the sideboard into Nature's Rhythm against Landfall seems to be working. So fingers crossed it keeps working.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Great day so far. Keep it going. All right, as we go into the third one, Stefan Schutz was your victor out of this pod. Another tough pod, but he's the one who stood tall with his blue-red deck.
Stefan Schutz, another legendary player.
Coming into these pods, we're seeing a couple of these 2-color decks showing you the power of staying within your college. And I got to ask Stefan after this pod how he did it. I've got Stefan Schutz with me, fresh off a 3-0 here to win his draft pod. Now, why don't you kind of walk us through what happened in your draft and how did it work out?
So I drafted blue-red again yesterday. I also 3-0'd with that. I started picking a white card because I thought, I liked the black-white deck, but then someone passed me a Color Storm Stallion, which is an extremely good card. So I sort of built my deck around that. I got like a late. Oh, one interesting thing is I got the Prismari, the 7-mana Mythic Dragon, quite late in pack 2, and didn't end up playing it because my deck was so good that I only wanted to play 16 lands. 3 Expressive Fire Dancers, very aggressive blue-red deck, basically. I had some crazy matches today, and one of my matches I wanted on like the 4th extra turn with the Color Storm Stallion, making like 4 horses and stuff. It's a pretty nice card. People playing Constructed too.
Yeah, it's been doing pretty well. Constructed, great to see it in Limited. Now, speaking of Limited, you're now 12-0 now this year in Limited. What's your secret? Can you help me out here as a guy that's like breaking in on Arena and maybe getting to Mythic?
Yeah, I haven't been this good at Limited usually. Like, I got better over the years. My teammate Carl Sarab, he's like a Limited aficionado. He's one of my closer friends, and we bounce ideas off each other a lot. We like argue a lot about picks and strategies. Like we disagree a lot, but I think that's probably the main reason why I got better and why I have better results this year. I also do think that this draft format is sort of to my advantage. I understand how to this format is sort of like a lot of aggro decks and a lot of like very grindy, control-y, combo-y decks, and those two are like my favorites. Basically, I do not like drafting the mid-range decks as much as other people. So yeah, I think sort of part of that favoring me, the format's favoring me, and also just having this experience teaming with the same people like from Team Handshake over the last like 3 to 4 years. Yeah.
Stefan Schutz 9-2. Great start to the tournament. Good luck.
Thank you.
And if we go into the 4th one, Shota the Gota stood tall as predicted. He did get the 3-0 in this draft pod. As you can see what went on around him, but he was blue-red. There's a little bit of extra in there, but mainly blue-red, stuck to that college, really helped himself out there, and we didn't get a chance to talk to him, but I did get to highlight something. This deck was a marvel. I would want to bring this up and take a look at it. A lot of really good stuff. Something you don't necessarily always see on a Prismari is great and strong spells and great and strong creatures. I definitely want to highlight that 2-slot with 3. That's 3 copies of Flow State, by the way. One of the cards that we've been highlighting in all the standard decks. He's got 3 of them here in his limited deck, showing how good it is. Also, Splatter Technique. Hey, you need some extra cards? That one gets you covered. The board getting a little gummed up, you take care of that. Does it as well. Great card. Go to some of those creatures. He's got a Zaffi and the Temptress. Great name for a band, by the way. Great card as well. Let you play some free spells as the game goes on. He's even got a Sky Coach Conductor here to kind of flicker some stuff, get some value out of that, protect from some removal spells, and then the rest is just filled out with very good commons and uncommons. One of the better decks I've seen this weekend.
Yeah, this deck is good.
Here's a look at our draft round. Saying goodbye to it, a single tear rose down my cheek. We go over to standard. Now let's take a look at the leaderboard. We're going to check out our top 48 players in the tournament right now. 3-way tie for first place. Ray Zhang, Nathan Stoyer, your overnight leader, and Matt Nass, all currently sitting at 10-1. We've got a lot of players, 6 of them on 9-2, hot on their heels, and lots of big names there as well. Hall of Famer Shota Yasuoka among them. 8-3 is where we turn our attention next, and we've got a lot of players on 8-3.
Yeah, including Anthony Lee, came into the day at 7-1. Still in it, Christopher Larson in the exact same situation. For Zevin Faust, getting to Constructed with 8-3 while loving his Azorius Tempo deck. That is a good sign for him.
Yeah, that is a good sign.
Ian Robb alongside Edgar Magalej, also at 8-3.
Yeah, if you look at this last page, these players, they're not out of it. They're still in it. Matthew Wright, a player that I had highlighted the day before, is still in it at 8-3. Collins Mullins, another player that I highlighted there.
Some of these players actually surprised. They were doing better at the start of today, and now they're not. They had a bad draft run. Arna, Jean Emmanuel, even Yuchen. Yuchen had a good record going into today. I think Yuchen only lost once yesterday. No, I think he lost twice. They lost twice in just the draft today. That's rough.
So important to have a good record coming out of those rounds. Let's check out Team Handshake Moxfield. How are they doing after the draft rounds this morning? Check it out. All right, so they were 6th place in our teams coming in. They've got a couple of 9-2s to be happy about, but all those 3 and 5s from
kind of an average showing from the team.
Pretty sad about that.
Next up, Undying Baguette was the 5th place team coming into the day.
Undying Baguette. Oh, it's all Frenchies.
Lead the pack. Jean-Emmanuel Deprat on his heels at 7-4. Not the best, but they still have one champion very much in the thick of things.
Yeah, Worldly Council heavy play, the 4th place team coming in today. Let's take a look at how they're setting up. They've got a couple players still in the 2. In fact, they've got 3 within striking.
They've actually got a pretty good record here.
And then down below that, we've got a lot of 6 and 5, so maybe a few more wins from these guys. Requeue for another Pro Tour. Looking forward to that.
All right, Team TCG player. Let's get a check-in on this team with lots of powerhouse Hall of Famers.
Yeah, freaking Matt.
Just them, Matt
10-1, man.
Speaking of Pro Tour champions, currently sitting at 10-1. Nam Dang hot in his heels on 9-2.
Yeah.
8-3 as well in this pack for TCG player.
All right, our small team Pluto was the 2nd best performing team overnight. We'll see how their 5 players are doing. 2 of them still at 7-4, but that means they have a tough road ahead of them.
Yeah, a little tough.
7-4, they're going to need 4 wins in a row to start here.
Cosmos Heavy Play, our #1 team overnight and the biggest team here in the tournament. Let's take a look and see the updated list on how they're doing. Yep, they've still got Nathan Stoyer.
Yeah.
Place at 10-1, but we've got what?
Man, this team is ridiculous. Look at these freaking records, man. Everybody's positive. Oh, I didn't realize that there was another column. But still, though, look at that. Look how deep you have to go in. That's crazy. Wow, what a powerhouse team.
Overnight, it was Cosmos Heavy Play, and they have retained their #1 spot.
Yeah.
Win percentage has fallen a little bit, but still very impressive given how large their team is. There's our team check-ins. As I said, we are turning our attention.
It's pretty nuts. Dang.
What is the shape of standard here in this tournament, Monty?
Okay, so coming into the weekend, we expected to see a lot of Visit decks and green decks, and that was what the standard meta game really reflected. Is it Prowess leading the field, 99 copies, about 30.5%, mono green landfall right behind it, but different flavors of Visit available in Spelementals and Lessons as well.
Yeah.
One deck we were hoping might do a little better, the Azorius Momo /Tempo deck, little underperforming, unfortunately, this weekend so far.
Oh no.
There's a look at our standard.
I was afraid of that. I was afraid that the Momo deck was overrated.
Let's set up our next feature match here for Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven. Monty, you might be interested in this one. Your Goda, Shota Yasuoka, the Hall of Famer on Is It Prowess, up against Wentong Jang.
Boros Dragons.
Boros Dragons. All right, let's go. Well, if you don't know Shota Yasuoka, let me tell you, this guy's been around here for a long time. Started playing in 1997. He's a two-time Pro Tour champ in 2006 and 2016. Most recent top 8 was Pro Tour Phyrexia in 2023. Notoriously, Shota tests alone. He's a one-man engine who gets it done. 12 top finishes to his name. Let's take a look at his stats, Tannen.
Look at these stats. They tell you exactly what we've been telling you all day long. He's
Yeah.
great, right? You see 12 day twos out of 13 events. He's got a top 8 since we've come back. That win percentage overall at 60% is awesome. You can see it's a little bit better and limited, but when he gets it right and constructed, boy, does he get it right. And he has a chance of winning this tournament here today.
And his opponent up against it, Wentong Jang, started playing Magic in 2020. This is his first
Oh, he's a pretty
Pro
new
Tour,
player.
so doing really, really well. Qualified via a regional
Interesting.
championship in Milwaukee with this same deck, Boros Dragons. He said he had those cards kind of laying around, and he's like, well, I guess I have most of the cards for Boros Dragons. I guess I'm going to play it. Turns out you can find yourself on the Pro Tour if you do just that.
Hey,
That's
dance with the
funny.
girl that brought you. You know, it's the deck that got you here. Might as well play it as well. As you can see here, 2-1 in his first draft. 2-1
Prowess,
in his
just
second
got
draft. Very
control,
solid overall limited
landfall,
record. Very solid overall
Spelementals,
constructed
Golgari
record. And
mid-range.
he's gonna need to fall back on his.
I've been pretty
experience
disappointed with
stack.
Kai Nelson's
Guy being
Golgari
all
mid-range
active on
deck,
the
but it's
very
just
show.
it's just not the way it
Okay,
is, man.
introducing the players, time to introduce
It
their
plays
deck
too
model.
fair.
Okay, we're going to start with my hero, Goda Yasuoka. Playing Is It Prowess, but as there are infinite different ways to build this deck, Shota's got one of the more unique ones. We see 4 copies of Elusive Otter and Slitshot Show Off
Yeah.
alongside the Color Storm Stallion.
Yeah,
So
alongside the
one piece
Stallion.
missing from Shota's build of the deck, no Eddie Merc Crabs to be found here. So going for a different strategy. We've seen exactly how much Secrets of Strixhaven gave to this archetype. On the other side, Wentong Zhang playing Boros Dragons. Now, famously, I am a Boros Dragons hater, so I'll do my best to get through this deck. This deck is a Momo deck. It is trying to utilize Momo to essentially hyper power out these powerful dragons. One of the big ones that this deck really relies on is Clarion Conqueror. The power of this deck lives and dies in a lot of situations with how well positioned Clarion Conqueror is in any given match.
Yeah.
But unlike some of the Azorius Momo decks, this deck can feel a little weak if it's not starting things off with a Momo-friendly flyer on
Voice of
board.
Victory is
So that
interesting.
going
I
to
don't
be key
think I would play that card, man.
All right, everyone, it's time for some standard.
play like
round
Legend of
number
Roku or
12.
something.
Ailey and
Couple of
Corey are in the
those.
booth, and I have a question for you. Actually, I have 2 questions. Number 1, are you ready to commentate some standard?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
All right, number 2, are you ready to do it with a distraction?
Yes.
All right, we'll see if that's true. We're just going to roll this tape here. Let's
No.
see what you think.
Ailey, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. We need to talk about standard.
Yay! Why aren't they here, Maria? Come
Ailey,
on.
show
This is so gimmicky, man. I mean,
Oh, okay. All right.
Cats, no.
yes, cats are cute, but it's just like, bro.
That is some cute cats.
Oh,
Remember,
it was great.
Is it Prowess, Boros Dragons, though, Ailey?
No, there's no cats in those decks. I don't care.
Okay.
I hope
Dragons
you get
are
a
just
chance
really
to go
big
see the cats, Ailey. I hope you do, but I'm just going to pass it on over to you now, and hopefully you can keep your mind on standard.
No.
We're
all downhill
toast.
from here.
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do this match. I think we might as well just send it back to Maria at the desk.
Can I
right?
go to the cats then?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I got this.
All right, we got this. What's up, everybody? Hello, and welcome to the first round of standard for the day. The players have put their limited decks in their backpacks, and now
And their
we...
cats.
No, you don't put a cat in a backpack.
Okay, gotcha.
That's how you get in trouble, man.
Well, the
Anyway,
air
I'll
ones,
educate
I
you.
always I find it so distracting how wobbly this table is that they're using, man. They couldn't give them a better table.
One extremely, incredibly, I mean, what can you say about Shota Yasuoka? Hall of Famer. He's basically done it all, and certainly plenty of members of coverage a big fan of the man. And here's a brand new Pro Tour player. How do you think he's feeling sitting in that seat up against one of the game's greats?
I mean, gotta be very intimidating, but we just looked at the previous matches that he was playing. Just beat Luis Salvato, just beat JED. I mean, at this point, he's a goat slayer, so let's see if Wentong can do it again.
Alrighty, let's see if third time's the charm here. I love this deck. I love the story behind it, where it's just like, yeah, just had some cards laying around, you know? Let's build this.
And so one big picture thing I want to kind of bring up about this match is Shota's choice of playing Elusive Otter instead of Crabs, I think could be a very big liability, actually. I think Shota is in a little bit of trouble because, well,
I agree.
Nova Hellkites just get to eat up Elusive Otters, and the Crabs would do a great job of slowing down these big dragons. So
I agree.
Let's see if that comes up.
Let's see if that plays into this matchup at all. As we kick things off here with Sarkhan on Wentong's side of things, up against an Elusive
I would plot
Hunter.
that slick shot.
Oh,
just
and it's
playing
gonna
it?
come up right now. I would imagine Wentong
I would have
has
plotted
the
it.
ability to just warp in a Nova Hellkite right now to deal with a Nova Hellkite. Maybe you save it for next turn as well, but yeah, we kind of are already going to be seeing it.
Let's see what he's got here for us. Momo, Friendly Fire in hand, Nova Hellkite, Dragonhawk, Fate's Tempest, and Clarion Conqueror. So on every point of the curve, we've certainly got something going here. The discount coming from our honorary dragon in our Lemur Bat ally, Momo, Friendly Flyer.
Yep.
Here comes Nova Hellkite, and there goes an Elusive Otter.
Yeah, and that was a huge exchange already. You know, most of the time, if you can just play an op, sleight of hand from Shota to set up your turn, or better yet, have a removal spell for Sarkhan, that would have been better, but you play with what you got, and getting the prowess creatures down first is exactly what you want to do with these Izzet decks.
Shota kicking things off here. Going to take a look at the top of the deck. Getting some pumps on this here critter.
Yeah.
Okay, that was another Slick Shot show off, and this is great. This is going to be 5, maybe 7 damage from Slick Shot, but not necessarily huge, as we have Nova Hellkite, we have Dragonhawk that can come down next turn.
Clarion Conqueror, not maybe the best in this matchup. Definitely looking at that Dragonhawk Fate's Tempest. Is Wentong interested in blocking here?
Yeah, probably siding out Clarion Conqueror, I would imagine, as all it does on the battlefield here so far is shut down his own treasure.
Yeah.
So that's not great.
One more spell to add to
Ooh, a Stallion was a good find.
takes down to 12.
I still think run out the slick shot, though.
The damage while he can.
I don't know. Shota might just be dead, though.
Yeah, and we have
Just too much damage coming through. Like, if you play... If Wentong plays Sacred Foundry, shock it in, and just plays Dragonhawk, and then Nova Hellkite. Yeah, Dragonhawk. It's got to be Dragonhawk.
As long as you don't die to a bunch of Slick Shot show-offs from Shota.
Oh, Clarion. I would definitely play Dragonhawk there.
Momo getting the pump as well, and Sarkhan.
Nope, it was
getting
close.
+1/+1.
Close, but not quite there.
4, 5, 6. Yeah, it would have been 11. Okay.
Yep, very
Oh, is
close,
this more
but
damage?
now what? This is
Wait, no, I don't think it is. I think the Dragonhawk would have been the better play. Even though Nova gets to attack this turn.
Yeah, with 2 dragons coming in. Crikey.
Because now Wentong doesn't necessarily have the mana to... I would have done it the other way, man. 5 mana, use everything, use the treasure token, play Dragonhawk, and the next turn you can warp the Nova. Because right now he can't play any of those Novas unless he finds a land. So I don't know. I think that was a little sketch.
4 or 2 is kind of the same. The Nova Hellkite's going to be able to finish the game off next turn anyways.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. The cost reduction from Momo. Momo can die to anything, bro.
Come in here. I mean, Shota's very much on the back foot here. Flow state, trying to find something to clear out these creatures, and you know, it's now or never.
Yeah. Nothing.
It's indeed never.
Nothing.
Right. All right, Wentong looking nonplussed by being on the big stage here in the feature match area up against one of the game's greatest players.
Yeah.
Shota Ahsoka.
Absolutely, and that was just the classic being on
Much better opening hand for Shota now. Pretty good opening hand for Wentong, though.
Really meant to be taking advantage of Cub decks, so we
Yep, just Burst Lightning that Otter. Follow up with a Voice of Victory, possibly.
I would think the anti-rhythm deck wouldn't be that played as well, but, you know, like Wentong was saying in the survey, qualify with it, keep playing it, you know your deck, it got you this far, and you're just beating...
Didn't Burst Lightning the Otter? What?
Might as well keep it going.
Yeah. And
What?
We saw the win rates.
What?
Day one, you know, the biggest, baddest decks in the room didn't have a great time about it. You know, 50%.
Gonna do it now with the treasure, maybe?
Landfall decks were doing superbly well, and then you know these little fringe decks. Some of them are having an excellent time of it.
I don't know, man. That was weird.
One of them, Mardu Discard, also having an excellent day yesterday. So.
Yeah,
Why is he just
really
not killing this otter? What is he more afraid of? Slick shot?
Sense that it's going to be closer to 50%.
Probably slick shot.
When you have one of those decks that's so played, and it
I don't know about all that, bro.
65%, then it seems like maybe it's too good, but definitely is it prowess, not necessarily proving to be too powerful.
Otters aplenty here for Shota, also able to take care of Sarkhan before he gets out of reach of that burst lightning. Dragon name now.
Yeah, and let's see if there's another Nova Hellkite to threaten these, but no, just another dragon. Magmatic Hellkite looks great as well.
Kevin of Souls, I believe. Magmatic's the one that blows up a land and then comes in with a stun counter on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think Shota's already short on mana. We might not have another land already, and man, the big butts of these dragons. 5 toughness is very tough to deal with. I think we have Seer. And no land, so Shota just has to ship back and
no.
horse. And
that Hellkite doing work here for Wentong.
Yeah, wow, this is kind of a beating.
Yeah.
Also, Voice of Victory, one of the best cards up against a deck of this style. You know, the ones that want to play instant speed, want to play on your turn. Voice of Victory just says, nah, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, it really lines up for the fact that, let's say we have a Magma Hellkite for next turn, you get to guarantee that these otters are not going to get a power or toughness boost. Which will be huge. And looks like an opt to the bottom and finds a 4-drop. So
oh my God.
Are just not for you, that's for sure.
Monty's going to be devastated.
Yup. And this is kind of a, this is trying to get Wentong essentially, like say, do you want to block with your 1/3 on my 2/2s? And then Shota has
I know Shota's only playing 21 lands. I would personally play 22, but
did not fall for it.
Still.
So this will be 8 damage.
Down to 10 he goes. Lots to follow up here, but definitely needs a land, does Shota. Royal Crackling Wit, Colorstorm Stallion ×2, and a Seer to try and stable for this offense here from Wentong.
Oh boy.
Drawn, get lost, Twin More Stormbreed, Burst Lightning, and Multiversal Passage in hand.
No Nova Hellkite. That's definitely the worst case scenario card for Shota.
Yeah.
But being able to just cast Charring Bite looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Deal with a creature. I believe there was a Burst Lightning as well to deal with the other otter.
Yeah.
And, well, you just get to attack for 7.
Yeah.
Or, yeah, even leaving up Get Lost here seems better because you can attack for 7, Get Lost a threat. That looks scary.
Yeah.
And then the following turn, attack for 7, Burst Lightning for the win.
Nice. Voice of Victory bringing its buddies along. They'll disappear at the end of the round, or end of the turn. Get lost on the little guy. What did he do wrong?
Yeah, right? And now with a couple of maps, it's going to be so... Just top deck a 3-drop as well. This
Oh my God.
Unreal. Bad
Ooh,
luck.
that's so unlucky, bro.
What a dismantling there. Wentong Zhang just
Yeah.
killing every single professional player in his path.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job of it. He's looking and saying, you know what? I don't want to lose again. I want to get to the top 8, friends. That would be wonderful.
First Pro Tour, you just beat Luis Salvato into John Emmanuel Duprat, into Goda.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's pretty impressive. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself, so big congrats.
All right, friends, let's jump into another feature match. That one was over before you could say Secrets of Strixhaven. Victor Santos Esquichi up against Brian Rockenbach now. We've got Demir Excruciator, haven't seen this deck in a hot minute, versus Mono Green Landfall, the deck of the tournament, I'm going to predict.
Yeah, Mono Green Landfall, or better yet, Celestia Landfall, kind of had the best win rate so far, but yeah, Landfall is looking really, really good. I will say the Demir Excruciator decks have a pretty solid matchup against Landfall. The clock is usually fast enough. The Excruciator, they can't do too much about if you get the Superior Spider-Man down. And then there's some good answers in the form of Requiting Hex, Day of the Black Sun. We even have some duresses for the Earthbender Ascension, so looks pretty solid from Victor.
Can we start?
You may start. Thank you. We are here now. They waited just for us.
That is so nice of them.
Gosh. Kicking things off here.
Mirror Excruciator versus Landfall.
Emeritus of Ideation in hand.
To be fair, I'd believe it that they were just about ready. They were still shuffling up when the Shota match ended, you know?
Yeah,
That
I would
could be
believe it,
true.
yeah. Goodness me. Deceit down now. Black. Take a look at the hand and get something out of there. 2 cubbies.
Yep.
Oh, no, just the 1 cub and the
Earthbender and then
Ascension.
the Ice Tilt. I mean, just pretty much an ideal hand. You know, taking the cub does slow it down quite a bit, but you got something all along the curve at 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of what Mono Green Landfall is trying to do. So it'll be a big draw from Brian here. If we can draw Llanowar Elf would be great, Badgermole Cub, anything to cast, but doesn't look like we found it.
Fetch, tap, trigger.
Trigger, get this little guy in for 2. There's a lot of birds in standard, eh?
Yeah, a lot of birds. A lot of birds. To be fair, chocobos, you know, don't really fly. You know, that's some Final Fantasy lore, but
bird.
Hey, yeah, all right.
They're basically an ostrich.
Yeah, they really are.
Have you ever met an ostrich?
I have not. No.
They are unpleasant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Really selling it. I guess I won't try to meet any of them soon.
No. Here we see another Deceit. Good grief. All right. Well, thankfully, there's 2 Earthbender Ascensions in hand for Brian.
So these players are at 8 and 3. So to be able to just make the top 8 straight away without having to worry about tiebreakers, they have to win out. So 4-0 straight into the top 8. You get that. You go 4 and 1. You still have a solid chance at it, but this is one of the larger pro tours, so you don't want to leave that to chance.
Give us a little behind-the-scenes look at top 8 announcements. What happened at the end of the last one?
Yeah. That was exciting.
Oh, you're not going to tell us? All right. Well, Christopher Larson is backstage with the other players who are potentially in the top 8. And they're like, we want to sweat it out. Don't tell us who's actually in 8.
Yes.
And they stood there and they waited, and then they called him as 8th position, I believe.
Yep.
And then he went on to win the whole thing. So that was
Chris loves a good sweat, that's for sure.
What a guy. Winter Night Stories here now for Victor Santos Escrichi.
This definitely feels like Victor's got to start getting it going. Now these kind of very impactful spells are going to start piling up. Saz's Chocobo is going to get out of hand. So Victor wants to find one of 2 things. Get the Doomsday Excruciator into the yard and find Requiting Hex here for this Saz's Chocobo right now would be the 2 main things that we're looking for.
Yeah, playing 4 of in the main deck. Bitter Triumph is also an option. There's Strategic Betrayal. So plenty of removal. Just needs to find it now.
Yeah.
There's a Bitter Triumph.
Yeah, found it, but we already played our land, so we're not able to just play a removal spell there. So Victor might be just a little too far behind here without a Requiting Hex.
Yeah. Emeritus of Ideation in the yard, one of the prime targets for Superior Spider-Man.
And that would be great next turn, Superior Spider-Man plus Ancestral Recall, but just not enough to survive.
Yeah, and no one-shot kill available right now, right? From Brian. It's another Earthbender Ascension.
Yeah, Earthbender Ascension plus a fetch land. Like, this is definitely getting close, as you're going to get 1 counter up to 2 here with the normal Earthbender Ascension. So, and then the Fabled Passage is going to turn on one of the Earthbender Ascension.
Yep.
So that is going to put Saz's Chocobo up 3 more power. That's 7-11. So it doesn't look like the win at this moment. It's going to be 12 or so.
4 counters on our Earthbender Ascensions. It's almost there, and it will be there.
Yeah, this is 13 damage with the Royal Treatment, it looks like.
Grief.
But you definitely don't want to proactively play that Royal Treatment.
Yeah. Jeez, what a spot to be in, huh?
Yeah, looks great. And, you know, the one thing that Brian does have to be pretty concerned about is Day of the Black Sun.
Yeah.
But if that does come down, you do have Bossing Say to give your creature haste. So it's looking pretty difficult here for Victor to be able to stabilize.
Duress off the top of the library, staring down two massive creatures that are just going to get bigger, courtesy of that Fabled Passage and whatever other lands Brian may have. Let's take a look in the hand.
Yeah, and Brian has the option to fire this off now instead of discard it, but you got to crack your Fabled Passage.
I think he just lets it go, right?
I would think so as well.
Because this is basically Victor clearing the way for a removal spell.
Yeah, because both your threats are already lethal, so the only thing that it really prevents is sorcery speed targeted removal, in which there are none.
Sure.
So it doesn't really stop anything right now, so I think Brian should just let it go.
Yeah. Do his best Elsa impersonation and let it go.
Yeah. I guess Deceit to bounce something is something that it would play around, but bouncing one of the threats. Well,
well, yeah, he's got that and Bit of Triumph, so this is working out really nicely here.
But even if you do Royal Treatment, whatever one you target, you Bitter Triumph that one, and then you defeat the other, so it kind of wouldn't matter. Now, all Brian has to do is present 2 4-power threats, in which I think he can do that. Just bossing, say, on a land.
I'll respond.
Hey, buddy. Besides, that's not what he'd like to do.
Discard.
So discarding, not losing the life, because that would be owie. But a Triumph will take care of the land
Float a
here.
green.
Floats a green in response.
Comes back, trigger all of these. So 4, this will get 1 counter.
No, I'm responding.
Oh, you're
this
right,
deck.
you're right. Okay, you're right. So counter there.
Yeah, I don't know about that timing, as now you get to float the mana, the
You
land.
can still animate a land, right?
Yeah, you can animate.
Because you got the green floating.
Triggers.
Interesting.
This gets a counter there.
Cannot animate a land. It's sorcery speed.
And then Bossing Sail land?
Yeah, then you can bossing say. I think we had lethal here, but I don't think Brian has it anymore. If we just didn't play Saz's Chocobo, we just bossing say on a land, play a land, put a counter onto that new land, and then crack Fabled Passage to put 2 more counters on it. You'd be attacking with a 4/4 and a 5/5 land. Bitter Triumph kills one of them, and then you win the game. But maybe I'm missing something here on that.
Big things here for Brian. Not too sure what he drew. We did see 1 land in hand, though.
I think it's an S for Origins as well as the other card.
Okay.
Yeah, I think playing the Saz's Chocobo was not needed, because now we're just 1 mana short.
Yeah.
And I hear the sigh from Brian. I
he's
think
figured it out, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll fetch.
Rough. But the bird is always tempting, you know. It's
The
just so
bird's
cute.
tempting,
Triggers. So 3 more counters here.
And now you can at least animate one of the lands, attack for 2, and then you're still putting Victor in a pretty rough spot
Activate the bossing say on this
for
one.
next turn.
Attack for 2. 2. Go ahead.
Unfortunate little misstep there from Brian. Victor gets 1 more chance to stay in this match.
Still 3 lethal attackers are going to be coming down from Brian's side, so it's still going to be tough for Victor, but
yeah,
the Dimir deck plays so much removal, has so many big threats, that giving them an extra turn, definitely not ideal. Something like play a Superior Spider-Man and then requiting Hex to gain some life.
Yeah.
That could be good. But if we didn't have Requiting Hex last turn, we probably do not have it now. There is Superior Spider-Man.
Ooh, okay.
So worst case, Victor can go Superior Spider-Man, Ancestral Recall, and then try to find Requiting Hex.
Yeah, worst case scenario.
Yeah. And then I think that would keep him alive, but has to find it. There we go. I love that we get to actually use that as that card is about to get cast.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Goes for Deceit. Because he gets both modes if you paid blue, blue, black, black.
Yeah, but I don't think Victor has any other cards in hand, so then you just automatically die to to Bossing say here. We must have other cards, otherwise that wouldn't make any sense.
You have 2.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, into Winter Night Stories? Okay.
Yeah, but that taps down your blocker.
Yeah.
And now if you find Requiting Hex, you still do get to stay alive, but Ancestral Recall would have kind of did the same, except you didn't get to look at the hand.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, very strange game.
That was a bit odd, yeah, but tis what it is. On to game 2 here. And Landfall looking pretty good here up against these controlling archetypes.
Yep, and then post-board, some stuff that comes in from Victor. One thing that is very spicy is the end comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And if Brian ever animates a forest and you the end on forest, that's always a play that is very excellent against these landfall decks.
Did we see that the last Pro Tour, I think?
Yeah, we've seen that a few times, yep.
It's like, oh, you're a mono green deck?
Yeah.
How do you do without lands?
There's the card we really need in this matchup. Requiting Hex is that important.
Yep, keep all those little idiots at bay. Take a look in the hand once again for Deceit. What do you like taking here, Corey?
Let's see. So you can take the Llanowar Alpha as that's the only card that you can cast next turn, and it does ramp you. But Sirach is such a difficult card to deal with from these Dimir decks. I think you have to take that. But then again, honestly, the Earthbender Ascension is rough too. So mine would be between Earthbender and Sirach for sure. But I think the bigger problem here is there's no other lands in Victor's hands, and we just have Swamp. So I think no matter what, Victor's going to have to top deck a land to play what looks like Winter Night Stories to discard that to Doomsday Excruciator. And if you can't find that, you're going to be in a lot of trouble anyways.
Yeah, I think he's got an easier time answering a creature than he does answering Earthbender Ascension. So
yeah,
I think he's leaning more towards that.
Yeah, and the one thing is you can deal with Sirach decently easy with Strategic Betrayal.
Yeah, without having to target it and give your opponent a card.
Exactly, but that's if they're left in. Strategic Betrayal is not that good against Mono Green Landfall.
All right, so Earthbender Ascension gets to stay. Sirach hits the graveyard, and the turn passes back to Brian.
Saz's Chocobo was the pickup for Brian, so now the choice of playing Saz's Chocobo and then a land to just get that bigger, or Llanowar Elf to guarantee that you can actually play a 3-drop next turn. Big draw step, and that did not look like a land to me. Yeah.
That sure is not lands. Winter Night Stories, I believe. Number 2, or?
Yep.
That one wasn't hand already? Or is it just two different versions?
I think it's two different versions.
Yeah,
one the promo, one the regular, then Doomsday Excruciator, and I want to say that is a Deadly Cover-Up as that third card. Which those are all expensive and not black cards. So Victor's still having the same problem. Needs a Water Grave or a Verge off the top pretty badly.
Double birdies. Ho, 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 ho.
Ooh,
cheap.
I think that was Day of the Black Sun.
Those
birds are just big enough to avoid that.
That sucks. Lands, where are you?
Yeah.
They've been misbehaving today, huh?
Yeah. And, you know, I totally get it. Victor was on the play, so it is brutal to keep a 2-lander without blue mana. But when you have Requiting Hex into Deceit, that's such a good start. You have a couple draw steps to be able to get it. So I like the risk, to be honest. But just sometimes it doesn't pay off. But a land off the top, if it was indeed Day of the Black Sun, being able to clean up the Saz's Chocobo as well as the land, that is huge. Now, Day of the Black Sun stops firebending, but it does not stop the earthbending lands from coming back. It's good lore from Avatar, but also how the cards work.
Well, thank you for that.
Yep.
Astute.
Nothing.
Oh, what happened?
Victor.
Nothing?
No lands.
Wow, this is horrible.
Man, kind of two non-matches here in our feature match area here for round 12.
It's real rough for Victor for sure.
Yeah, no land for Shota, no land for Victor. This is ridiculous. Feels like I'm playing on Arena, bro.
Harmonizer, land, doubling the power. This thing is huge.
Yeah, you get to trigger it, stack it correctly where it goes to 4, and then you double it.
Yeah.
That's 8, 12, 14 damage. That's
enough.
Just enough, Ailey.
Yep.
Yeah.
No removal in hand here. Oh, one thing. Okay, all right.
That's huge. Now the problem is a land off the top. Day of the Black Sun doesn't deal with Harmonizer. Oh, it was warped.
warped,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All right, so land off the top.
There's
Day of
still a
the Black
chance.
Sun is still good, but
Land.
this is the last opportunity.
On board 467, yeah.
Ryan is hellbent. This is only 7, but any land,
No land.
any Earthbender Ascension,
Mm-hmm.
Ice Till Explorer, Badger Mole Cub, Royal Treatment. Those are all outs to win the game next turn, and that's quite a lot of them.
Plenty of ways for Brian to pick up a clean 2-0 here up against Victor.
Yeah.
Squeechy. In round number 12 of our Pro Tour friends. So let's see if he's found anything to do here. I'm going to guess not.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe just thinking about Day of the Black Sun for 0 to just deal with the 2-2 land.
Sure.
The problem is that only saves you 1 point. It saves you 1 point because the land comes back. Saz's Chocobo goes up to 5, and then any land is still lethal, so it just doesn't actually do anything.
Man. Rough matchup here for Victor. Got a feel for it.
Royal Treatment off the top. That is lethal, but it's if you want to go for it. Because if you go to Royal Treatment on Llanowar Elf and then Saz's Chocobo gets destroyed by a Requiting Hex or something, then it's kind of a blow up. But you got to put yourself in the shoes of what Victor would do. I would play it too, because if Victor had a removal spell, he would have played it already.
Yep.
So I would think it's impossible for Victor to have a removal spell right now.
Yep, and that's going to do it.
Yeah.
So, congratulations to Brian Rockenbach, improving his record to 9-3. 3 more to go. Let's lock up that top 8. That's the way to do it.
Yeah, still live, and then of course Victor
Disappointing losses for both Shota and Victor. That's so unfortunate, man. So lame.
Yes. Super important to make sure that you get those.
Not what you want to
Don't be
see.
sweating it out in the final round of this tournament. That
Unless
is
you're
for
Chris.
sure. Unless you're Christopher Larson. The guy likes these things, all right?
Yes,
What can I say? We got more magic for you, friends, so let's jump straight into it. Joining Andy Garcia Romo up against George
Nice. We get to see
Barrett.
Azorius Momo. Azorius Momo versus Landfall. This should be a great matchup for George. Just play the freaking Clarion Conqueror,
He's
man.
having a great time of it, and it's absolutely crushing it. So let's jump in here. Match in progress, where
Match in
Andy Garcia
progress.
Romo has taken the first game. So in the lead with Mono Green.
And Andy was so close to being the one representative from Team the Boulder at this last Pro
Yeah, he
Tour that was
was.
going to make it with that Is It Spelementals list, but just lost that last round and wasn't able to make it. So Andy on that fantastic team of the Boulder Mare Lion, as well as up against George, who's playing his very first Pro Tour.
Welcome, George. 8-3. Excellent stuff.
8-3 at the first your first Pro Tour is really good.
You know, that's kind of like the first little hurdle to get over. And then start looking at, okay, cool, 12 wins. Could be possible. Let's go for it.
And this Azorius Momo deck, we haven't seen a ton of it on coverage here, but what it's really trying to do, it's very good against the prowess decks, or at least pretty solid against it. You know, a lot of teams were playing it and, you know, wanted to submit it. Eli Cassis was one of them who was so close to playing it, but just couldn't figure out.
Dude, if that's a seam rip, you gotta play one of those.
But very good against prowess.
Yeah.
Because you can play Sage of the Skies, which is great at blocking these slick shot
Or if
shots,
there's
but
a
can't
Shepherd, oh yeah,
up
okay.
it against
I think you go get a
landfall,
land.
elementals,
I think you get a
just kinda
land,
control
bro.
some of the decks that kind of
Damn,
attack.
Momo. I don't know. I mean, you can Momo and seam rip next turn.
Excellent card. Able to go and find the hero of the deck and the hero of Avatar, The Last Airbender.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, you can Momo and seam
really
rip.
is phenomenal.
Yes.
You know, one of the best one drops that we've seen in a long time. You know, it does kind of the same thing that a Llanowar Elf would do, as it does do the ramping, but it also attacks pretty hard. And the only problem with it is it has the deck restriction of, well, you got to play a lot of flyers. You got to make that stuff work.
But flyers are great.
Flyers are great.
Yeah.
Flyers are great.
We've seen plenty of people killed in the air here, so.
Yep.
Little Chocobo getting in. 1 point of damage to George. It's going to be on damage control here, to a degree.
So it looks like a couple seam rips, as well as Quantum Riddler in hand, as well as some other hits there. So has the option of just let's say play Momo, Seam Rip both your 1-drops, and go from there. The one thing that's great about these Azorius Momo decks is, well, it's a Riddler deck, and that just means you get paid off by trying to get all the cards out of your hand as Riddler just restocks you right away.
Yeah, you can mulligan pretty aggressively with this deck too, which is super sweet. You know, I love the inclusion of Daydream in these kinds of lists, just to be able to flicker out like either this or Starfield Shepherd.
Exactly.
Seam Rip on the elf instead of choke. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
The other time we've been seeing that.
Wait, what did George play? He needed to tap only 1 mana for that Riddler. Did he screw that up? Did he tap both? I'm rewinding, bro. I'm rewinding. I'm rewinding. Did he tap 2 lands for that Riddler? I missed it. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Seam Rip, take them. Not for long.
And next turn, both of those warp creatures are online, so could just play land 4 and warp it out thanks to Momo.
Yep.
There's also the Cosmogram.
Got another Seam Rip, too.
Definitely trying to line up Cosmogram spell.
Oh, yes, I love Cosmogram Zenith.
Yeah.
Dude, that's why you gotta Seam Rip the Chocobo, bro.
Yeah.
Look at that. Oh,
it's
just still my beating heart.
Yes. It's just not at the best spot when it's making ground creatures, when there's so many things in the air with Slick Shot Show Off and stuff, but an incredibly powerful card, and it's going to look pretty good here.
But you don't need to worry about blocking in the air if you are the aggressor.
Hey, touche. Math is for the blockers. So does have that available right now. Can go Cosmogram Zenith and then Seam Rip on the Saz's Chocobo, and that looks like a great play. Playing either of the big 5-drop flyers looks great. So George has a plethora of awesome options here.
Holding down the 4 chair extremely well up against the big beater deck of the format. Andy Garcia, Romo, deciding what he wants to do here with this turn.
Yeah, and Andy Garcia's Romo made that big kind of breakout performance by top 8ing PT Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that's right.
Catapulted his career, and then he has just been very consistent over and over at these Pro Tours. So been very fun to watch, and he's just also one of the nicest guys you can get.
Super happy all the time. Cosmogram Zenith hits the board here into Seam Rip.
Yeah.
Second spell of the turn triggers.
2 soldiers.
And 2 soldiers.
Yep, definitely making tokens.
Good battlefield here. Something that Andy really needs is something like Ice Till Explorer, Escape Tunnel, something to just supercharge one of these forests. It's got to be time for one of those big spells here. So far, Andy Garcia's Romo has just kind of played the middling ground of the creatures, but I do see a Moss Hydra, Teamer Harmonizer, and Fabled Passage in hand, so as well as some other cards. So Andy's got the goods. And the Hydra is actually pretty tough for George to deal with. Just the fact that it costs 3.
Sure is.
There's usually some get lost, stuff like that, but not a ton of removal.
Road, but you might not necessarily want to do that. And then Parting Gust, that can get rid of the Hydra.
Deck has a pretty good matchup against Momo.
Yeah, Mossborn Hydra, if it gets to stick around, well, you're not going to stick around for much longer. So,
especially George at 12 life already.
Way to deal with that.
Oh, with a Fabled Passage and a Bossing Say. Oh my God, George needs removal so bad.
That could jump in and clean things up, but
Really should have Seam Ripped that Chocobo the last turn.
Yeah, that is just not much.
That was another 4 damage or something.
With the Momo decks just structurally. That's kind of the problem with these Riddler and Momo decks is, well, you have to play proactive things. You can't be too reactive as your deck just is not a cohesive, it doesn't have a cohesive plan, so.
Yeah, you know, if you spend too much time worrying about what your opponent's doing.
George has the Ang, though. The Ang will work.
Your own game plan.
Exactly.
Just Ang the Mossborn Hydra by a turn. And I think he's got another spell to cast, too, so he could put counters on stuff. I think. Ang is only 2 mana.
Sapling Nursery and
I think there's another spell in there.
last 2 cards for Andy, so still plenty of gas in the tank.
He's got a Sapling Nursery in hand? That's going to be game.
To see
Insane, bro.
Now you got to feel if George just tries to tap out to play a Shepherd or a Riddler or something, which looks very tempting.
Yeah.
Might be the last turn of this match.
Oh yeah, no, you can't do that. You gotta Ang and
You definitely don't want to
Ang the Mossborn Hydra and then
be
play
shields
something
down
else.
entirely against this deck. It can kill you out of nowhere.
Especially with the Harmonizer, we only have the Fabled Passage, so it's not another land, but if you draw a Fabled Passage off the top, warp in Harmonizer, and then you get 3 land drops plus 2 activations from the Earthbender Ascension. I mean, I can't count that high, so.
No, me neither. That's why we let the players do that.
Exactly, exactly. All right, I guess I'll try. You can stack it for the Earthbender Ascension, where you would get 2 counters onto the Hydra, and then it would be 6 doubles. That's probably enough.
Yeah. I don't have that enough fingers.
Exactly.
Shepherd and then Ang. Makes sense.
We'll see what kind of good 1-drops we can find.
Get a land.
And it's like, it's not a lot of...
Get a land, right?
You know, any real ways to deal with creatures. It's all value stuff. Pixie to be able to pick
Pixie?
up your Shepherd.
You have another land in there, bro?
That kind of stuff is all fine and good, but not dealing with the biggest problem, which is the Hydra.
Pixie brought to hand there off of the Shepherd. That's a cool version of that card.
Yeah.
Be able to promo something from LGS. Pretty.
Pixie, Trigger Zenith.
Yep. Pixie Zenith. We're gonna put some counters on things. Okay.
Has the option of like picking up a Seam Rip to replay that, but you're not really, you know, solving any problems that really matter.
This was tracking the movement pumps? Yes. So it's up to 2.
So many things to keep track of.
Yeah.
Okay, there is an Ang.
Okay.
That is
we haven't played a flyer yet, right? Or did we?
I believe we did. We played the Pixies. That doesn't get the cost reduction yet, but you can always just say go and have Ang interact on Andy's turn. That would be great.
Does he have 3 mana available there?
But you can.
It's during your turn.
Oh, it's during your turn only. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, it's during your turn only. I don't know. I think George might have misplayed this a little bit. You need to Ang that guy. You need to Ang that Hydra, buddy. You're gonna just...
Flash this in.
Doesn't he just lose the game right now?
Yeah. I mean, Momo not being able to help out Ang, that's a bit of a flavor fail, but we'll...
Right.
We'll
I think he just loses the game right now, right?
Forest off the top for Andy.
Yeah, you just Forest, Earthbend, the Fabled Passage, and then swing with the Hydra.
So if that's the case...
I mean, it's not necessarily GG, but it basically is.
Sack Fabled Passage, you probably warp out a Harmonizer first. Stack it so the Earthbender Ascension will put 1 counter on
Oh, you
the
can warp
Hydra,
out. Oh, yeah, this
and then
is
you'll
over.
have 4 doubles. So it will be 3,
This is over.
6 to 12 to 24 to 48. That's
I don't think he's got 36 toughness on that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I believe this is 48
Yeah, George
power
messed up.
attacking in with Hydra here, but
No, we went Septing Nursery instead.
okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
We wanted
Why?
the fireworks and we just got the fizzle.
Hey, I mean, that is probably better for Andy because the Disdainful Stroke there would have been able to deal with the Harmonizer as well.
That's true,
So
yeah.
getting the Nursery countered here, I do think is better for Andy than losing the Harmonizer. So now we'll just see if Andy wants to play the Forest here or hold it.
Because, yeah, I don't think we'll be attacking. Because the creatures available right now would kill the Hydra. Is
No.
Andy dead on the crackback here?
That is a good question.
The Hydra doesn't die.
So here's the way that you can stack it. So you can put the 2 doubles behind. So now we'll get to 3 power. And have trample. I mean, it already does, but now double.
Because while he's doing that,
Double
we've got
is
the Shepherd who can go fetch a 1-drop. So there's 2 spells already.
for...
Zenith.
So it's 8 and then 16.
Like, that's on board trouble for Andy Garcia right now.
This is a lethal attacker that would be coming in.
Okay,
so
so
it
we do
just
have to block.
demands 1 block, but that's it. So yeah, just blocking with a 2/2, and then we do the math. Can we have a crackback for the win from George?
It's got more power than that, Andy. It's a 16 power creature, not a 12.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
What is going on right now, bro?
I think I'm counting.
If Hydra attacked,
Yeah.
but it looks like if Hydra stays back, you can block the Cosmogran, and then you just take the other 4 creatures.
Yeah.
And the other 4 creatures would get up to 3 power, so that would be 12 coming back. So
Yeah.
I think Hydra has to stay home.
Because Momo gets every time a flying creature enters, right?
Maybe it is
Yeah,
12.
okay, so
I guess maybe I did it wrong. Maybe it is 12. I don't know. I thought it was 16, but
Yep, that's exactly the math that we did. Hydra has to hold back for Cosmogrand, because if Andy attacked, you would just throw a 2/2 in front.
Yeah. Go fetch a 1-drop, get the trigger on Cosmogrand Zenith. This is still a very big attack coming in.
Yeah, this still might be lethal, because this is 9 from the ground creatures, and then Momo's already 3, so that would be 12. And then if you just keep picking up Shepherd.
Play it again.
Yeah.
Play it twice, I mean. What did he fetch? The
Ang for sure.
Oh, yeah.
To remove a blocker is definitely going to be enough.
Yep.
We completely forgot Ang was there.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
I was doing the math with just the
Yep.
Shepherd over and over, but yeah, that should be enough and force a game 3.
Sorry, chat. Yes, they're probably shouting at us. Nice. All right, so a game apiece for both players here. George Barrett picking up a pretty sweet victory there.
Yeah,
with
that was
this Azorius Momo deck.
Really sweet. And warping in the Harmonizer or anything for Andy still wouldn't have worked, as the Disdainful Stroke would have been able to still counter that. So George kind of had all the answers there.
Yeah.
So well played.
Andy with a hand of 7, George Mull to 6. Sergeant Chocobo to kick things off here in the 3rd and final game between these 2 players. Springleaf, oh yeah.
Oh, looks like a 1-lander keep from George. I'm here for it.
Ballsy, love it.
It is not the absolute worst, because you do
1-lander
George
keep.
does have
Oh
the ability
boy.
to go Momo, tap Momo with the drum, and then warp out a Shepherd to go get a land, or warp in a Riddler. So still has a nice turn here, but did not naturally draw a land too.
Yeah.
But you see, Momo, the hero we all need, able to help us out.
Momo and drum is quite the combo, that's
Yeah.
for sure. It gets going pretty quickly.
Get a land, yeah.
The basics game of the players that we've seen in the feature match area, that just made me so happy.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I like
beautiful
Andy's
lands.
as well, but George's are my actual favorite. We'll see if George has anything to do with the 1 extra mana. A Pixie here would be great, picking up Shepherd. As great as Shepherd is, you definitely don't really want it in Warp. You almost never have time to pay a 4 or a 5 mana, 3/2 flyer. It's all about the Warp for the Shepherd.
I haven't seen Daydream one, so I don't know if we'll see it now. This might be post, both games of post-board might have come out.
Yeah, definitely possible. I would imagine it's still in, and it would be the perfect time to draw it, as you could warp out the Riddler and Daydream it. But George needs a big turn here, as Andy's start has been very fast, and another non-land. Couple Angs, a Quantum Riddler, and a couple Avatar's Wrath. So hand is not very good.
Very clunky.
Yeah. So I think George has the option here. Do I play it safe and just say go, flash in an Ang, interact on Andy's turn, which is what he's going to do, or try to risk it, get a Quantum Riddler out, try to find a blue source, and then be able to do that as well? I like the conservative play.
Yeah. Momo does get the buff on the opponent's turn, which is handy.
Yeah. But looks like Andy's hand is quite good. I see Ice Till Explorer.
So Mindful, Harmonizer.
Yeah, Harmonizer, Bossing Say, plethora of options here so far from Andy. And that's the problem with this matchup, is the Azorius Momo deck doesn't pressure that well without Cosmogran. And Andy will eventually deploy these cards, even if Ang airbends out one of these big threats. You're just like, okay, now next turn, I'll play 2 big threats because one of them only costs 2.
Get rid of the bird. Make it hurt.
Yep.
Blue, white, Swiss
Yeah, if you airbend out Saz's Chocobo and Andy just gets to go Might Form Harmonizer, turn that forest into, a 4 or 5 power creature, and make 4 land drops, that's pretty bad news as well, so.
Good? Yes, all good.
Andy just checking the wording on Ang Swift Savior.
Andy definitely has it on the radar.
Oh, yeah.
So something Andy could do is like Warp Harmonizer, threaten just a really large attack, and if that were to get airbent, well, then it costs 2 mana to just put into play next turn. Feels like you have to do that.
And sends the ice till away.
No one knows yet if it's airbent or airbended.
I think I recall official documents saying airbended.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So.
So a nice attack for 5, and George, I feel, really needs a land here. Avatar's Wrath would look okay. Still not amazing by any means, but doesn't look like we found a land.
That disdainful stroke you picked up.
And these Momo decks definitely do not play a ton of land. They definitely cheat on lands a little bit, as you got to play drums, you got to play Momo, which costs Redux.
Yep. Starfield Shepherd finds you lands.
So I definitely stand by the keep from George. It just has not really materialized.
Here we go. We're going to go blue for the Riddler. It's going to draw a Daydream. We're going to flicker that out, and it's going to be all fine.
Okay.
You'll see.
You are dreaming, huh?
Maybe. I'm still thinking about those cats, man.
And I'm honestly proud of you that you
thank you.
You've gotten fully into this match.
I've kept it mostly together. Yeah.
With how Maria just really tricked you there and distracted you at the beginning.
I'm just mad she didn't take me with her.
Yeah.
Is that a Daydream?
That was the third Avatar's Wrath.
What the hell?
Yeah, and that was like the moment, that was kind of the Hail Mary moment from George, just saying, hey, I'm too far behind. I need to try to do something that's a little risky and hit a land drop. And I agree. I think you had to do it.
I'm mad for
the
it.
fail-safe is you lose the game when you don't hit it. Because I think there's a disdainful stroke. There's no get lost. There's no castables from George. So, I mean, I think Andy gets to go warp a harmonizer, play a land, and then play Ice Till and get 4 land drops. And give the Saz's Chocobo a huge boost as well as trample.
Yep.
And I think if Andy goes for it, it's GG here.
Here we go. Paying 2 for it. Coming out of the air-bended zone.
Yep. So stacking the triggers the correct way here to be able to get Earthbender Ascension up to 4, get another land in, and then you'll have 2 mill triggers. And then we still have that 1 more land drop.
Yep.
So 2 counters from Saz's. There's going to be 1 counter from the Earthbender Ascension put onto something.
Big land. Trample.
Looks like must not be going for the Harmonizer.
Okay.
Andy taking the more conservative play. As if there was a get lost, it would be a bit of a blowout if Andy put all his eggs in one basket, and he's not getting pressured, so there's no point in trying to go all in, so to speak.
Well, 2 massive tramplers.
Yeah.
Did a pretty good job here.
Looks like Andy is just diversifying his threats here.
Yeah,
Make that forest large, because the Saz's Chocobo is already gigantic.
Yep.
There'll be 2 more Earthbender Ascensions to put counters on.
Good gravy.
Yep. When Mono Green Landfall gets to
Do its
go unchecked, it's pretty hard to beat.
That's going to do it there. Andy Garcia-Roma picking up a 2-1 victory, advancing his record to 9-3. He's going to be feeling pretty good. And he's like, you know what? I got so close last time.
Yeah.
I want to go all the way this time.
Exactly.
Good
And
luck,
I mean,
Andy.
that's the thing is when you see players that get so close, they lose a win in here and there, it's just a matter of time before they get that another top 8, and then, well, they're just top 8ing every event left and right. So,
Friends, that's going to do it for us for this round. When we come back, we're going to be back at the news desk with Maria. We will see you, kitties, soon.
Magic Spotlight Marvel Superheroes is coming up soon in Las Vegas, June 26th through the 28th, and Brussels, July 24th through the 26th. This is a Team Trios limited event, so it's sure to be an awesome time. Full promo card details are going to be revealed in early June for Elektra, Daughter of the Hand. Registrations are now open. More details at mtg.social/spotlightmsh. Welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour Secrets of Strixhaven. We are in day 2 of competition and well into it as we get ready to start putting people into our top 8. There's a look at MagicCon Vegas as well. Hey everybody, welcome back to the news desk. Maria Bartholdi, your host for the weekend, alongside Monty DeBooty and Tannen Grace. Round 13 is coming up, but let's find out how the tournament looks right now by checking in on our leaderboard and find out who is leading the whole thing. Check it out here. Look at this. Ray Zhang, for the first time, alone ahead of the tournament, sitting at 11-1. Now remember, 12 is the magic number. If you can lock up that number of wins before the final round of Swiss here today, you are into the top 8. So Zhang could make that happen this round. Plenty of 10 and 2s hot on their heels. Francis, Thierry Ramboa, Nathan Stoyer, your 2022 world champion, Matt Nass, Pro Tour champion, Stefan Schutz, the online champion, 10 and 2. Max Kamenowski also at 10 and 2. A lot of 9 and 3s also still in the mix, including Hall of Famer Shota Yasuoka and our current reigning Pro Tour champion, Christopher Larson. Don't count him out just yet. Somebody who is very happy indeed is someone we saw win on camera last round. That is Wenton Zhang, sitting at 9 and 3 with a win over Hall of Famer Shota Yasuoka in his first Pro Tour. Talk with Tannen after his big win.
Hey everyone, I got Wenton Zhang with me here, fresh off a big win in the feature match area. Now let's set this up a little bit. It's your very first Pro Tour. It's your very first feature match, and you're up against the GOAT in the feature match area. How do you approach a match like this? Is it different than normal?
Honestly, I try to approach it in the same way I would any game I try to play. I take it seriously and play to the best of my ability. It's definitely nerve-wracking. My hands were shaking the entire time, but yeah, just trying to focus on my deck and my gameplay.
Yeah, and trying to focus on that while you're playing against Shota is difficult, right? Speaking of your deck, how are you liking it, and how are you liking your chances the rest of the day?
I really like my deck. I think it's just wonderful. Like, the deck is very powerful, but has 0 card selection aside from mulliganing. So that's, I think, the drawback that really pushes people away from it. I think the deck has a good prowess matchup, pretty solid landfall matchup, and I'm excited to just play the rest of the tournament.
Yeah. Well, if you got a good matchup against those 2 decks, you're in a pretty good spot this tournament. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you so much.
You just got some cards laying around, you head to an RC, and then you do well enough, you can find yourself here in your first Pro Tour. Well, something a lot of people are really interested in is the day 1 win rates for these standard decks. Monty, you've got the details for us.
I do. So, of course, we have Dr. Frank Carson here running the numbers. And here's where things stand after day 1. Of course, the first round of standard may be in the books here, but we haven't taken that into consideration. And I think the big thing that we are really looking at is that is performing about average. You see, is a prowess sitting at a perfectly flat 50%. The other is it Dex, is it Spelementals, and is it Lessons? Not doing that much better at 50.9 and 52.2. Massive underperformers, is it Maestro? That deck did not pan out, unfortunately. Azorius Momo also doing very poorly. But the big winners overnight, absolutely the green decks. Mono Green Landfall doing fantastic at 55.4%. But I think it's really Team Cosmos Heavy Play Selesnya Landfall deck that is the big winner overnight. Of course, Nathan Stoyer leading the ship overnight, 63.6% for Selesnya Landfall. And we'll see how things shape up as we go throughout the day and wind down towards the top 8.
Exciting stuff. Well, it's time for another cosmic moment here at the news desk.
Constructed has been such a sweet format here this weekend. There's so many decks to choose from. How do you choose? Which should I play? Maybe I could ask Team Boulder. Boulder. Wait. Maybe I should go bouldering in the Grand Canyon.
down. Off. Get off the desk.
I am joined by Simon Nilsson here. Simon, what are you playing and what does your deck do?
I'm playing mono green landfall, and it just explodes with mana onto the board and triggers landfall so many times.
Give me 3 key cards out of your deck.
I would say Ice Explorer, Esper Origins, and of course Basing Zay.
What's a good matchup for you and why?
I would love to play against like the Jeskai control decks. Like anything that tries to interact with me, I can outgrind.
What's a bad matchup for your deck and why?
And, that would be the fast decks like Badger Molokot, but they don't exist. They don't exist.
Oh, Simon, thanks for the time and best of luck.
You too.
Yeah. Hey, we're joined by Christian Calcano, who's got a really cool deck here this weekend. What are you playing and what does it do?
I'm playing Jeskai Control featuring the Strixhaven powerhouse of Tablet of Discovery.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love that one. So if you had to give me 3 key cards, I'm assuming that's one of them. What are the other 2?
I would say Tablet of Discovery, Jeskai Revelation, and I'd probably say Thunder Magic.
Ooh, I like that answer.
Yeah.
All right.
We need that one.
We do need that one. All right. What's a good matchup for you and why?
Prowess, because we just we have the early interaction to kind of keep their attacks at bay. We stock up to find our, the goods. Then we play Tablet on the crucial turn, and then we play Revelation on turn 5, and usually it's good enough.
Usually that's good enough. Exactly. What's a bad matchup for you and why?
Lessons is pretty rough. It's just hard to interact with their engine, and if they get going, turn 2, turn 3, it's hard to race that.
I just got a hold of a Pro Tour champion, Michael Plummer. Michael, what's your deck that you're playing this weekend and why?
I'm playing Izz's Elementals. I think it's kind of bad against Prowess, but I think it beats basically every other deck in the format. So 70% good matchups, I think.
Sounds good to me. Give me 3 key cards for your deck.
Prismari Charm and Traumatic Technique are the 2 big upgrades of the Strixhaven. They let you fill your graveyard really early. They're way more powerful than the previous tools like Embedded Attachments. Tricky goes upstairs in the late game. And then Thunderflock is the card that invalidates half the decks. Like, you can't play a creature strategy if I have 2 mana bounce to board 5/5.
Absolutely. What's a good matchup for you and why?
I really like all the landfall decks as matchups. Like, they're kind of slow, so they can't, like, kill me too early. Thunderflock's really good. It bounces the lands they spend. And, like, Crab stop the, like, Common Plan most of the time.
All right, what's a bad matchup for you and why?
I think Prowess, specifically Prowess with horses and slick shots are really hard. Prowess has good jobs of, like, suspending slick shots off and, like, making so I have to leave up mana. Horse is kind of hard to kill, especially efficiently. And, like, the cards just line up kind of poorly.
Hey, I'm joined here by Ian Robb. Ian, what is your deck and what does it do?
I am playing Blue Air Lessons, and what it does is it tries to get 3 lessons in my graveyard so I can use Grand Cumulative Wisdom to kill my opponent with my win conditions.
What are 3 key cards in your deck?
Grand, Mind's Endurance, and Flashback.
What is a good matchup for you and why?
I don't know if one really exists. I'm just playing the decks I find to be pretty fun.
All right, well, what's a bad matchup for you and why?
I also not really sure if I have one. I think Mono Green Landfall is about even, so I'll say if I lose a die roll, that's my worst matchup, really.
All right, well, good luck this weekend.
We're getting ready for round number 13 here at the Pro Tour, and this is where the rubber really starts to meet the road as players start to potentially lock up spots in our top 8 on the Sunday stage. So let's set up our next feature match here for round number 13. Ray Zhang versus Stefan Schutz, and Zhang has a chance to lock up a top 8 berth this match. Izzet Lessons up against Mono Green Landfall. Let's get a closer look at our players. Ray Zhang, excellent Pro Tour performance, event after event, started playing the game in 2016, 3 regional top finishes, Pro Tour top 8 at Pro Tour Outlaws of Thunder Junction, 3-0 draft this morning and said, hey, I'm just going to do my best and try and get through standard later today. Well, Zhang has really been doing it. Could be the first player to lock up a spot in our top 8.
Yeah, my absolute favorite thing about Zhang today is that they've just been like, you know what, I'm just going to play my game, see what happens, see if it works out, right? You know, we've pointed out that day 2 win percentage. We can just throw that out the window because they've proved that that is not what they're doing here today.
Let's take a look at the opponent. Stefan Schutz here. Started playing Magic the Gathering in 2003. One regional top finish to his name. 4 Mox top 8s and 1 win in 2024. A lot of people thinking that Stefan's the best player who's currently playing, who does not yet have a Pro Tour top 8. So could this be the tournament for that to happen? Went 10-6 at Pro Tour Lorwyn Eclipse.
Yeah, lots of wins, not a lot of losses on there. I want to point out, Stefan went undefeated and limited at this Pro Tour, same as the last Pro Tour. So we've got that in the bag. Unfortunately for Stefan, we've got to play Standard for the rest of the day and Standard tomorrow if Stefan makes it there. So that's a thing to look out for. If the Standard gets up to where the Limited is, Stefan's going to be a powerhouse.
All right, those are the players here for round number 13. What about their deck choices, Monty?
Okay, we're going to start with Roy Zhang. They have brought Is It Lessons for the weekend. And Is It Lessons, the better performing of the Is It decks, certainly serving very well. Only 1 loss in the tournament so far. That was in Constructed. But this Lessons deck is very powerful. The combo of Gran alongside Artist Talent and Monument to Endurance, once you have these 3 cards assembled together, everything gets very far out of hand. And let's not forget, this is the deck that can play not actual Factual Ancestral Recall, because now that's in Standard.
Yeah.
But Accumulate Wisdom is doing its best impression. One cool thing that Roy's doing, 3 copies of Consult the Star Charts in their version of the deck. Instead, no Storm Chasers talents that we've seen in previous versions of Is It Lessons. On the other side, we have Stefan Schutz playing Mono Green Landfall. Now, the Mono Green Landfall build from Stefan is the one that Team Handshake developed, and you can see some of the nods towards being better against specifically Is It Prowess. You see the 1 copy of Dragon Sniper alongside the 2 copies of Edge Rover in the main deck. This is not the matchup where you're interested in those. No main deck graveyard hate in Stefan's build of Mono Green Landfall may end up hurting him in this matchup against Roy.
All right, those are the players and the decks. Monty, who do you like here? Do you think Roy Zhang is going to be our first member of the top 8?
I think they've already been in Landfall once yesterday, and I think they're going to be able to do it again today.
All right, well, let's find out what happens. It's time for round number 13, and I'm going to pass it on over to Marshall and Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Mira. Welcome back to the booth here. That's Paul Cheon. I'm Marshall Cycliffe. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back in Standard, as you may well know, and we've got a very important match coming up. This is Ray Zhang playing for top 8. They are the only player in the field who can actually secure top 8 this very round. Even their opponent, Stefan Schutz, cannot do that, even with a victory. So a lot of pressure on Ray this round, but they've got a lot of winning-ins lined up. This is the first of potentially many. Is It Lessons versus Mono Green Landfall? Paul, you heard what they said up at the news desk. Maybe, you know, Monty was thinking Ray's slight advantage there?
Yeah, I think, I mean, we even listened to kind of that quick little deck bite by Ten and Grace and Ian Rubb, where Ian was saying, I don't really think my deck has that many great matchups. I don't really think I have that many bad matchups either. But noting that Stefan did make a couple of adjustments to his deck to be prepared for the Is It Prowess matchup, which might not necessarily set himself up for this matchup in game number 1. You have a bunch of those 1-mana cards to go up against the Is It Prowess decks, but not quite as effective against the more controlling Is It Lessons deck.
You see Stefan with the Llanowar Elves on turn 1, but Ray Zhang with the Artist Talent on turn 2. So both players with a good start. Sauce's Chocobo for Stefan. What else does he have? Well, he's got a Forest and a Badgermole Cub too.
Yeah, so lots of permanents here for Ray to deal with, and I believe Ray is also only on 2 lands currently. Wants to maybe try to
winch off the top.
Yeah, there is a combustion technique, so you might fire off the combustion technique on the Badgermole Cub, rummage away a card, and try to hit a land.
That does seem to be the play here.
All right.
Getting a little desperate here for
land.
Ray Zhang. Is it a land?
It is.
Steam
That
Vents?
is huge. I think that was a
you're
Spire
right.
Bluff Canal.
You're right. Wow.
Wow, that was clutch. And, you know, little things like that, of course you have to play really well. But, you know, finding the land that you need, making sure you minimize mulligans, that's how you make top 8 of a Pro Tour.
Worth noting here that Stefan is on a mulligan to 6 on the draw.
Has the Might Form Harmonizer, could just choose to hardcast it here. A 1-mana spell will not be able to counter the Mindform Harmonizer. However, a Combustion Technique would be enough damage.
So Ray could potentially just untap and kill it.
Right, and I believe Ray has the second Combustion Technique there in hand.
Yeah, I think so too.
But Stefan just kind of playing out his hand here. It's like, all right, I'm just going to put a bunch of power and toughness in play and hope that it's enough here.
Yeah, he had to play it out here and then pass the turn back over to Zhang.
And for Ray, I think it's a fairly straightforward Combustion Technique on the Mindform Harmonizer before Stefan can run out some lands. A really bad scenario here is if Stefan plays something like a Fabled Passage and is able to get 2 triggers out of the Mindform Harmonizer.
And that's what we're going to see here. And it looks like no rummage.
Keeping everything. I mean, there's an Accumulate Wisdom in hand. Don't want to rummage that away. It'll Quencha looks great here, right? If Stefan plays in Ice Tail Explorer. So, you know, if you're Stefan, you're thinking, well, this is not a good spot to be. You either have a counter spell or a card draw spell or a removal spell. Ray, of course, having 2 of those 3 options in hand.
Meanwhile, the Saz's Chocobo is getting bigger.
Yeah.
There's no blockers.
Yeah, so Stefan can get in for 6 points of damage this turn and maybe run out in Esper Origins.
Escape Tunnel is going to get cracked and put the 4th +1/+1 counter on the Chocobo.
Yeah, so Ray will be falling down to 12 here, but we'll have potentially a fresh 4 cards to look at after this Accumulate Wisdom. And the trigger from the Artist Talent.
Stefan's going to fire off Esper Origins first, leaving up that 2 mana available for It'll Quencha just in case.
And Ray does have It'll Quencha, but the actual hard cast mode of Esper Origins is not really something that you're interested in countering. It's, of course, the flashback, which is far more impactful.
Stefan also gets to get in for the 6 that you mentioned, Paul. Down to 12 goes Ray Zhang.
Ray needs to find some removal spells here off the Accumulate Wisdom.
And is this a full Accumulate Wisdom?
Yeah, and an extra card here, rummaging away the It'll Quencha. Okay.
Just Artist Talent looking pretty good here. There's a
Absolutely.
Monument in hand, and
Right.
that's when the real fireworks start.
Sure, but if you can find another Combustion Technique or a Boomerang Basics, I mean, that Saz's Chocobo is going to deal a bunch of damage. And here, I mean, Ray doesn't have an interactive spell. However, did find a Grand with a bunch of lessons in the graveyard, and it has a Consult the Star Charts here. And you can use that to fire off and find exactly what you need. So now, I mean, you have kind of the 3-card combo here, right? You have the Grand with 3 lessons in the graveyard, Artist Talent, and Monument. So, I mean, now you can really dig deep, find what you need, get a bunch of triggers off the Artist Talent here, and try to cast as many spells as possible here before Stefan can maybe run out that Meltstrider's Resolve that he has in hand to get the Grand off the battlefield.
Well, you said, Paul, that Ray needs to find interactive spells. They didn't, but they found everything
I
else.
mean, you're just looking at so many cards. I mean, you don't even need to kick the Star Charts, right? You just cast Consult the Star Charts for 1 mana. Look at a ton of cards. You have to be able to find some way to get that Saz's Chocobo off the battlefield.
Now, that would have to wait till next turn, right? I think no more land drops and just the 1 mana left here for Zhang.
Yeah, but with the Monument to Endurance, if you cast the Consult the Star Charts, you can still just make a treasure off the Monument to Endurance, and then if you find a Combustion Technique, you can still fire that off and get the Chocobo off the battlefield.
Does look like Ray has decided just to pass the turn back with that Star Chart at the ready.
And Stefan, not too much you can play around here, right? You're just...
And this is an important juncture. You can see the players are thinking about the exact same thing that you just broke down for us, Paul, which is Combustion Technique. As Stefan plays a land and says, I'd like to have a landfall trigger, please. And immediately Ray's like, well, what do I got in my graveyard?
Ooh, and Stefan trying to
force the issue here with Meltstrider's Resolve, because that gives +0/+2, but remember, there's still a landfall trigger available with Escape Tunnel.
Absolutely, so Consult the Star Charts here. Needs to make a treasure here. Oh, just drawing. Okay, so just taking a bunch of damage here instead. Oh, excuse me, there are 2 Artist Talent in play. You get both. You can draw a card and make a treasure here, of course. Firebending Lesson not that effective here.
And now treasure.
And now you get to look at the top 5 cards of your library off the consult. Try to find that consult the star charts. Excuse me, combustion technique. That is an Iroh's demonstration. I don't know that I see a combustion
I
technique
see another
here.
firebending lesson.
Yeah. Iroh's demonstration, of course, is a sorcery here.
Yeah. Ooh. So that's going to be a lot of damage. And also that Chocobo is going to have, what, 8 toughness?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to get rid of. Now, there are 2 boomerang basics in Rei Zheng's list. If they can find that, of course, that would be quite nice. But this is a lot of damage coming in. 8 damage coming in. Rei's going to go down to 4 life here.
And that was Gran getting
eaten by the Melchor
slapped around by the Chocobo.
She took a lot of damage. She took a lot of damage. She did a lot of work, but...
That's an angry bird over there.
That's right.
Stefan's going to go ahead and sacrifice the escape tunnel for another landfall trigger.
Right. If Rei can just dig and try to find a way to deal with the Chocobo, go down to 4 here. You still take 1 from the other token, from the elf and the 1/1 animated land. That might give Rei enough time to rattle off enough spells and perhaps race Stefan, given that they do have a second copy of Monument to Endurance in hand. Oh, okay, never mind. Had an Esper Origins in the graveyard. Looks like we're flashing it back here. Oh, and hit another one. So this is a mountain of pressure here that Rei needs to handle.
Probably good. Yeah, leave the second one on top. Summon 24. Transforms. Trigger first chapter.
Yeah.
I'll just do a finality counter. Oh, we do have...
So now facing not only 6 damage coming in this turn, meaning the Chocobo by itself is a lethal attack, but the other creatures can also close it out. Of course, surveilled the Earthbender Ascension to the top, reveal a permanent card, so that's going to come in next turn as well, giving you access to another 2/2 hasting attacker.
Yeah, Stefan certainly has the tools to finish this game, but that explosive